in the field. 16 different sites of 4 teams at a regional, with the winners of those 16 sites advancing to next weekend in the Super Regionals. And the winner of those Super Regionals will get to Omaha and the College World Series. Our regional features later tonight the number 5 national seed and host Arizona Wildcats out of the Pac-12, taking on the WAC champs, Grand Canyon's first NCAA tournament appearance, but a really good one with UCSB and Oklahoma State to get it started in this 2-3 matchup. Along with former Arizona national champion and Hall of Famer Wes Clements, Roxy Bernstein with you. Every 4 years, the World Cup draw comes out, and there's one group that's picked as the group of death. Wes, I think we have the group of death in the NCAA baseball tournament for this year because 3 of these teams have been to Omaha in the last 5 years. This is a really difficult bracket.
Well, there's no question about it. But listen, the brackets came out. Kendall Rogers took him 5 minutes to say, hey, this regional is the region of death, but we are just thrilled to be here because we got 4 great ball clubs.
We'll start with UC Santa Barbara, who made it as an at-large out of the Big West. And one of the big reasons why they're here is the play of their freshman shortstop, Jordan Sprinkle.
Well, these are the great stories in college baseball, right? This youngster came to campus this year, season started. He wasn't expected to start. The starting shortstop got hurt. They put him in there. Rest is history. Leads the club in stolen bases. And a freshman All-American.
He's had a phenomenal season for UC Santa Barbara. On the other side, speaking of great seasons, the Big 12 newcomer of the year, a California native playing for Oklahoma State, Christian Encarnacion Strand, second in the country in RBIs.
Well, he's been tremendous. Just take a look at the numbers. But this is one of those hitters where if you're at the yard, you don't go get any food, you don't go get something to drink because you always want to watch this guy swing the bat. Tremendous hitter.
Should be a terrific game 1 to get this regional started. The Gauchos, the Cowboys. Lineups and first pitch next. A warm day, as you can imagine, in Tucson. The NCAA Baseball Regionals presented by Capital One, the 3-seed Gauchos, the 2-seed Cowboys in this opening round matchup to get day 1 started at High Corbett Field. And for Andrew Checketts and UC Santa Barbara, the lineup for the Gauchos as their season summary as a 3-seed in this regional. They led the Big West in home runs this year. They have power throughout the lineup. 39 wins for the Gauchos, including 29 coming in the Big West. So for Andrew Checketts, his lineup today has the freshman All-American Jordan Sprinkle leading it off. They've been aided by a couple of players getting healthy down the stretch, as McLean O'Connor missed a bunch of time this year with a hamstring issue, but Marcos Castañon at the cleanup spot is a force, and the Gauchos are thrilled to have him in the lineup.
Well, there's no question.
Castañon hitting cleanup for UC Santa Barbara. And on the mound for the Cowboys, the 6'7", second-year freshman right-hander Justin Campbell, who is a California native. 7-1, a 2.08 ERA for Campbell this season. And his fastball can get up there in the mid-90s. And this will be a tough matchup for the Gauchos. A whip of just over 1 as Campbell winds. The first pitch of the afternoon is fouled straight back by the freshman Jordan Sprinkle, and we're underway at High Corbett Field.
Not very many pitchers, Roxy, are going to go through the Big 12 and have an ERA just over 2, and that's what this youngster.
Bouncer to the left side. Christian Encarnacion Strand at third base makes the play, and that's how our ball game begins. Sprinkle retired for Oklahoma State and Josh Holliday. The Cowboys just lost in the Big 12 Tournament Championship, and they have made the NCAA in each of now Holliday's seasons at the helm of Oklahoma State. Keep in mind there was no tournament last year because of COVID. But Josh Holliday, former Oklahoma State standout, has the Cowboys as the 2 seed in this bracket, and a called strike to Cole Cummings, the Gauchos' third baseman.
Well, Campbell on the mound is going to feature a fastball 91 to 94. And he's got a plus changeup, and you just saw it right there on the outside part.
Trying to get back to Omaha for the first time since 2016, Oklahoma State, as Cummings turns out of the way. 1 ball, 2 strikes. In fact, we alluded to it that 3 of the teams of the 4 in this regional have been to Omaha in the last 5 years. As Cummings takes ball 2. In fact, they were all in the same half of the bracket in Omaha in 2016. Santa Barbara, Oklahoma State, and Arizona. 2-2. Cummings takes just high. Looked pretty good. And the count is run full on the Gauchos' third baseman. Pitch. Line sharply into right and toward the line. This will roll for a while. Cummings on the way to second base. Thinking about 3. The relay throw, there won't be one, and Cummings a 1-out triple for the Gauchos.
Well, we're seeing it right from the start in the first inning. You're not familiar with High Corbett Field. It is a huge yard. And they're playing Cummings, Oklahoma State, off the line. Watch Cummings. This ball, once it gets to the wall, Cummings is going to pick up his third base coach at this point in time, but he's on his own. Ball's in front of him. Just like that, Gauchos in business. First inning, runner at third and 1 out.
Cummings has reached base now in 13 straight games. The pitch and a breaking ball high from Justin Campbell to Zach Rodriguez, the right fielder, hitting .363. Third in the Big West in batting and runs batted in and 4th in hits.
Can't tell you how imperative it is for UC Santa Barbara to get on the board early. You got nerves on both sides, but then the triple, now that just cracks everything open for UC Santa Barbara. They got their man at the dish right now.
Swing and a miss at a fastball from Campbell.
Very rarely you're ever going to see a freshman lead a D1 team in RBIs, but that's exactly what Rodriguez has done this year.
The motion and the 1-2. Just a bit low, and appeal to third, or first rather, to Eric Lovejoy, our umpire, down that way, and no swing. 2-2. Perry Costello calling the balls and strikes. Jeff Head, the umpire, at second, and Jeff Gosney, the umpire, at third. 2-2. Swing and a miss. Got him with a fastball running in.
Yeah, he just tied him up with a little sink ball. And you're talking about a pitcher in Campbell who threw a no-hitter this year.
He no-hit Kansas, did Campbell, back in the early part of May. Castagnon, the DH and cleanup batter for the Gauchos, takes ball 1. .385 with 7 home runs. So Castagnon missed a bunch of time, missed 33 games with a hamate bone issue and caused surgery. And he takes ball 2 high. And you ask Andrew Checketts, he says without a doubt he's the best hitter on the team. In the 4 games since coming back from injury, a couple of home runs for Castagnon, who lifts this one out to deep right center. It's over the head of Cade Cabinets, the right fielder. And the Gauchos are on the board in the first, and Castagnon drives in a run. He's only at first base. Believe it or not, that ball should have been extra bases for Castagnon, but it is an RBI and a Gaucho lead at 1-0.
Well, we'll get a look at it. It's a fastball on the outside part, and Castagnon, he does not miss this at all, but you are right, Roxy. I'm trying to figure out why he's still at first base.
We are at our home studios, and not in the ballpark.
I think he slipped out of the box,
apparently
or just
he
prior.
Slipped coming, up the line.
We'll get a look at it right here. He's thinking double, and he fell down. No problem. You know, he says, hey, what do you want from me? I got the RBI.
There's a ball bounced by Brock Mortensen, the left fielder. Handled at first by Jake Thompson. Takes it himself. Side retired, but the Gauchos get a run. Marcos Castagnon gives the Gauchos the early lead. The Cowboys coming to bat. Going to need that sunscreen today in Tucson at High Corbett Field. Temperatures in the high 90s, approaching triple digits for Game 1 of the Tucson Regional, as the Gauchos on the board in the top of the first against Justin Campbell. And now Josh Holliday's offense comes to the plate and some power at the top. And Jake Thompson right there in the middle just finds a way to get on base routinely.
Well, it really does. I mean, it's a powerful Oklahoma State Cowboy lineup. I mean, every one of these guys can leave the yard at any point in time.
So Oklahoma State 35-17-1 on the year. As you look at Rodney Boone, a little bit of a surprise. The Gauchos going with the lefty Boone instead of Michael McGreevy, who's their normal #1 pitcher. But really, for Santa Barbara West, it's 1A and 1B when you look at the numbers for Boone.
Well, it really is. You take a look at it. How about 10 wins in the Big West Conference? You really like the 90 innings pitch and 117 punch-outs. He is not a hard thrower by any means, but what he does very, very well is command every pitch that he throws, which is a fastball, curveball, slider, and changeup. And he has no problem pitching behind in the count, throwing off speed. So this should be a good matchup.
Caden Trankel, the center fielder, hitting .280. Leading it off for Oklahoma State. He rips it to right. Going back with room is Zach Rodriguez. And you see how expansive the outfield is in Tucson. It's in deep right center. You saw the marker for 405 feet. This is as large a yard with as much room in the outfield as you're going to find in college baseball.
It really is. I mean, you can play a little golf out there. I know I have, but I will say this. It's going to play into this regional because it's so deep out there. There's going to be a lot of hits that are going to land in front of outfielders that normally, in a normal yard, they wouldn't be hits.
Called strike to Max Hewitt, the second baseman, batting .275. The Canadian product. Honorable mention, all Big 12 this year. Super utility guy, has played a number of positions in his Cowboy career. He's even started behind the plate in games for Josh Holliday. 1-1 the count, bottom of the first. The lefty, 6'1", Rodney Boone, the redshirt sophomore from Orange, California. 2-1 on
What's
Max
interesting
Hewitt.
about Josh Holliday's lineup, with the left-hander Boone on the mound, it doesn't bother Josh Holliday at all. 4 of the first 6 hitters in the lineup are left-handed.
2-1 pitch. Just low from Boone. Do you think that factored in Andrew Checkett's decision to start Boone instead of McGreevy because of the left-handed bats at the top?
Yeah, I don't think there's any question about it. But with that being said, a lot of times it takes away that changeup from a left-hander when you run so many left-handers out there. Now, I mean, that is conventional wisdom, and it has been for many, many years for left-handers to not throw a changeup to a left-hander, but that's since changed, that philosophy.
Payoff pitch to Hewitt. Reaching for it, popped it up, foul near the Gaucho dugout, and giving chase down the left field line is Brock Mortensen, and it's out of play. So Andrew Checkett's in his 10th season at the helm of the Gauchos. 5th trip to the NCAA tournament, a former pitcher himself at Oregon State. And this year recorded his 300th career win back in March.
He's already got the sweat towel on his neck.
Protecting the neck from the sun, right? Looking for protection anywhere you can get it.
Sun's good for you.
Took the Gauchos to the College World Series in 2016 as Boone misses high. A 1-out walk. Hewitt is on, and here comes the dangerous Christian Encarnacion Strand for Oklahoma State.
Well, I'll tell you that the confidence that Andrew Checketts has in Boone to throw a 3-2 breaking pitch to the 2-hitter, and you know if it's ball 4, one of the best hitters in the country comes up to the dish, and that's what we have right now.
Officially, it's up to 100 degrees now at High Corbett Field.
That's nice. Beautiful out there.
The Northern California native, Encarnacion Strand. 1 out, a runner at first, and he looks at strike 1 from Rodney Boone. And Gauchos aren't used to this heat, Wes. They're used to having perfect weather. You're on the beach. Literally, the Santa Barbara campus is right on the beach. And they're used to perfect weather just about all year round. They're not used to triple digits.
The only umbrellas they use when it's raining. A great change up there by Boone ahead in the count. 0-2 now.
That's all right. Hey, right here. Right here.
362 for Encarnacion Strand. And second in the country, drove in 66 with his 15 home runs. The Big 12 newcomer of the year and first team all Big 12 takes just inside ball one.
That is such a great pitch by Boone. It's the same thing he threw on pitch one. A lot of times you'll get the attention, go right back in there now.
Max Hewitt, the runner at first base. There's a ball hit sharply on the ground, foul, pulled it up the third base side. And we'll do it again, a ball and 2 strikes on Encarnacion Strand, who was drafted by the Mariners in the 34th round back in 2019. A JC All-American before transferring to Oklahoma State. Moved to first by Boone.
I see you working 1-0.
It's an Oklahoma State team that does not run a lot. They mash, but they don't run a lot.
Hewitt has only 1 steal on the season. That to keep the double play in order, just to keep him close over there.
Yeah, just to let them know that they know he's there.
1-2. Swinging a foul straight back by Encarnacion Strand. And we'll do it again, a ball and 2 strikes on the Oklahoma State third baseman.
But you see what Andrew Checkett's philosophy is with him is going to be. They're going to throw him in. They've already thrown 2 fastballs in. And the reason they're throwing him in like that is just to get his attention to say, hey, we're not afraid of you. We might come in, and it's all to set up something soft away.
1-2 pitch. Breaking ball pulled on the ground and into left past the lunging Cole Cummings. Brock Mortensen gets it in. Max Hewitt stops at second base, and the Cowboys have 2 on with 1 out. And the cleanup batter, Jake Thompson, coming up for Oklahoma State.
Well, it was the changeup on the outside part. And it finds the 5-6 hole, and just like that, first and second.
Honorable mention, all Big 12 for Jake Thompson, the well-traveled Jake Thompson. Number of stops on the way for him collegiately. The first baseman with 2 on and 1 out. 1-0 Gauchos. Good breaking ball from Boone, who was the co-Big West pitcher of the year.
Don't expect a 4-3 game in this field. There's no chance. Not going to happen.
1 strike pitch, just low, as Jake Thompson started his college career at South Dakota State, then to a junior college, then redshirted at Kentucky in 2019. And now at Oklahoma State. 1-1 pitch. 2-1. Big spot for the cleanup batter for the Cowboys in the first, trying to answer UCSB. 2-2.
Good little slider by Boone.
The tough thing about Boone, Wes, is he'll throw any pitch at any time in the count. So it's hard to get a read on this lefty. On the ground at second, spinning. McLean O'Connor to Sprinkle. Throw back to first, gets away from Kyle Johnson. And we are tied on the throwing error. Max Hewitt comes in, and the Cowboys have evened it up in the bottom of the first.
Well, you see Sprinkle right there. O'Connor, here's your ground ball. O'Connor, great feed to Sprinkle, and Sprinkle just trying to hurry up and get that back into the double play. Unfortunately for him, he elevates the throw over to Johnson. And if Johnson can't catch it, he's one of the best in the country. Nobody can. And just like that, we're knotted up at 1.
Yeah, Johnson's a big target at 6'5" over at first base. So the throwing error evens the ball game. Jake Thompson at second. Carson McCusker takes a called strike. The 6'8" left fielder for Oklahoma State. 7 homers on the year.
It's good fastball.
Strike 2.
I will tell you this, if college baseball ever had a basketball tournament, I'm taking the Cowboys.
Yeah, at 6'8", McCusker. 6'7", the starting pitcher today, Justin Campbell. Boone in the dirt. Nice job behind the plate, Gianni Bloom to block it. McCusker 3 times honorable mention All Big 12. Drafted out of junior college by the Brewers in the 26th round. Was a second-team JC All-American before moving on to Oklahoma State. And takes strike 3 called is Rodney Boone. Gets it over the inside edge to retire the side, but the Cowboys even it up. An error ties up the ball game. 1-1. Oklahoma State. UC Santa Barbara to the second. Tucson, Arizona. Yes, the desert. Out west. Game 1 of the Tucson Regional, the opening round. UC Santa Barbara, Oklahoma State. Jason Willow leads off the second and skies this one near third. Into foul ground. Christian Encarnacion Strand makes the play to take care of Willow. One away in the Gaucho's second. McLean O'Connor coming up.
Beautiful sky in Tucson, Arizona. I mean, you got some cloud cover. Can't be that hot.
Cloud cover help? You've been out there at this time of the day and this time of the year.
Absolutely.
Called strike to McLean O'Connor.
You know, I didn't get my wager in, Rux. I was going to bet you dinner for a year that O'Connor was going to take the first pitch.
And the second one. It's 1-1. He's been dealing with a hamstring injury for a lot of the year. He was the starting shortstop for Andrew Checketts.
He was.
Then the emergence of Jordan Sprinkle. But he had to find a spot for O'Connor to get back in.
Well, it wasn't a hard decision for Andrew Checketts because obviously, you know, if O'Connor used to play short, he can play second, and you weren't going to move Sprinkle out from shortstop.
Good pitch from Justin Campbell. 2 balls, 2 strikes. As the luxury for Andrew Checketts at the emergence of goal, and you have O'Connor coming back. And a full count on O'Connor.
We just saw it the last inning, Roxy, in that potential double play. O'Connor just a tremendous feed over to Sprinkle.
3-2 from Campbell. And O'Connor pops this one back out of play. O'Connor hit a grand slam last weekend. The Gauchos have won 8 straight coming into this field. And they needed every win along the way, considering the committee looked at them as one of the last 4 teams in the field as an at-large. And O'Connor shoots one foul down the right side.
Which shocked a few of us on the West Coast, didn't it?
Yeah, I was surprised. I thought they were firmly in the field after winning 8 straight against sweeping UC Riverside on the road 4 games, then winning against Bakersfield last weekend in Santa Barbara, all 4. And as O'Connor draws a 1-out walk, the first issued by Campbell. Look at the Gaucho postseason history. 5th time in the tournament the last 8 seasons. 12th overall, and their first College World Series appearance as a program in 2016 in dramatic fashion, winning that Super Regional in Louisville.
That was a little dramatic, wasn't it, at Louisville? I think we'll get to that down the road here, but.
Runner at first for Kyle Johnson, the first baseman. Johnson hitting .264, a couple of home runs from Los Gatos up in the Bay Area right near San Jose. The big left-handed slugger. That's ball 1. So 8 straight wins. It's tied for the 4th best current streak in the country. Johnson, the 1-0, hits it in the air. Playable in center. Moving in is Caden Trankel, makes the catch. And there are 2 outs for Gianni Bloom, the 9-hitter for the Gauchos. And this was the dramatic victory for UC Santa Barbara at Louisville to win the Super.
Sam Cohen, the grand slam. You know what I love about this? Watch the umpire at home plate. He's trying to do his job, and he's getting trampled. He'll never forget this. Get back, get back.
He's trying to box him out. I got to take a look at the plate. I got to see it. Catcher Gianni Bloom hitting .234 with a home run. Is Justin Campbell a move to first base, and McLean O'Connor is back. The big Gianni Bloom from the Bay Area, Richmond over in the East Bay. Redshirt junior, transfer from Sierra College out near Sacramento. The pitch. And Campbell darts the outside corner. And a called strike is, look, any offense they get from Bloom is a bonus. He's in there to run the game and catch behind the plate. Strong defensive.
There's no question. Very, very strong. See, it's interesting, Campbell throwing over to first base right now because, Roxy, just what you said, that we know why Bloom's in there because he's a tremendous defensive catcher and a little bit short on the offense. The last thing you want to do is Santa Barbara is get somebody thrown off and Bloom leads off the next inning.
1 strike pitch, and it's 1-1 on Bloom. Has power when he gets a hold of it with his big frame. It's 6'4", 240, but it's been few and far between for Gianni Bloom offensively. Pops this one up a mile high in foul ground. Brock Mathis, the catcher over near the Gaucho dugout, makes the catch. Gauchos are gone. We go to the bottom of the second, 1-1.
Welcome everyone to Omaha, Nebraska. That one is caught. Making the catch. This one's going to end up on SportsCenter. Anchored down. Vanderbilt on top of the college baseball world again.
June 19th, Omaha, Nebraska, the 2021 College World Series, and what a welcome sight it'll be to be back in Omaha for the CWS, and these teams trying to advance. Rodney Boone starts off the second with a called strike to Cade Cabanis, the right fielder. Nolan McLean, the DH, and then Brock Mathis, 6, 7, and 8 for the Cowboys in the second. As Boone just misses off the edge. 8
well, some
homers
upsets already, Roxy,
for Cabanis on the year.
And the regionals,
well, it's
right?
Gonna happen,
Liberty takes down Duke. 22nd rank, 11-2, Scott Jackson's club.
1-2 on Cabanis. It's the hangover for Mike Krzyzewski announcing his retirement yesterday. Duke hasn't recovered.
Oh, really? Really? Something happening with Krzyzewski?
Yeah. In case you were under a rock, and clearly you are, Wes.
Well.
1-2 pitch to Cabanis, and that tied him up, and Boone gets his second strikeout.
What a beautiful pitch right there. I mean, you talk about pitchability, and that's what Andrew Checketts told us. Watch this. You said it perfectly. This is what it looks like when somebody's tied up.
Here's the DH Nolan McLean in the lineup for Josh Holloway in Oklahoma State for the first time since the final game of the series against Texas back on April 25th. So the two-sport Nolan McLean, who's also a quarterback for Mike Gundy. And the football program looks at strike one. 262 with 7 homers, as McLean has been dealing with a little bit of a back issue, and that's why he hasn't played in a little over a month.
Well, he's getting pounded all the time, right? He's wearing pads, getting pounded by defensive ends. I mean,
a prolific high school quarterback is McLean, throwing for nearly 7,000 yards and 72 touchdowns in his high school career. The 1-1. There's a bouncer, left side. Tough play for Jordan Sprinkle. He won't have a play. That's an infield hit for McLean.
Boy, didn't you just want to see Sprinkle pull a... I mean, Jeter's the one who kind of post... That's his play, right? You see Sprinkle get over to that ball. He just can't get it out.
McLean is on, hit number 2 for Oklahoma State. A one-out base runner for the catcher Brock Mathis, batting .231 with 7 home runs. Moved to first by Boone. Is the catcher Mathis a transfer from LSU? Started 40 games for LSU. Pulmonary back in 2019. Hit 3 home runs. Just a .164 as Boone delivers, and that's a called strike to Mathis.
You can see a breeze, a nice little breeze there. Boone's jerseys ruffling right there. I mean, it's 100 going on 70 with that breeze.
It's not 100 going on 70. That I've never heard before.
Well,
there is the state of Arizona flag with the wind blowing out toward left. 0-2 on Mathis. That's the flag in left center field. And just the banner for the Arizona Wildcats. 4 national championships, including the one in 1980. Wes Clements.
Nothing about that.
Oh, yes, you do. Throw to first, and back to the bag is McLean. Terry Francona? Craig Lefferts on that team with you?
Yes, he was. Dwight Taylor, Johnny Moses. They were kind of good.
Bill Kenneberg?
Billy Kenneberg, retired recently.
Recently retired from head coach of the University of Utah. Ball and 2 strikes, and Brock Mathis with 1 out. Nolan McLean at first base. Kyle Johnson holding over there. And another strikeout, the 3rd for Boone. Rodney Boone now has 120 strikeouts in 91 2/3 innings this season.
Well, we talked to Andrew Check. It's because of how often that Boone throws off speed and changes speeds on his off speed, his curveball and his changeup. His fastball at times just plays like it's 93, 94 to hitters. And you see a little bit of tardy swing right there in Mathis.
Matt Golda, the shortstop for Oklahoma State, batting in the 9th position. 2 outs. And he shows bunt, and it's a strike with Nolan McLean at first base. As Golda in there with an injury for Oklahoma State to Houston Morrill. He was out with an arm injury, so Golda getting the nod at shortstop. Now, Golda did homer last weekend at the Big 12 tournament where the Cowboys lost in the championship game. Golda hits it in the air, right side, and a collision as Johnson along with the second baseman O'Connor, and it's Kyle Johnson who did make the catch, and they're having a chuckle about it after, but luckily for the Gauchos, crisis averted. A big first baseman, West, got to take charge.
Hey, I mean, you know what? I got it, and that's all that counts.
The NCAA Baseball Regionals presented by Capital One. Game 1 of the Tucson Regional. Top of the order for UC Santa Barbara in the 3rd against Justin Campbell. We're tied at 1. Along with Wes Clements and our ESPN crew, Roxy Bernstein with you. From our home studios, the game at High Corbett Field in Tucson. Jordan Sprinkle will ground it out in the 1st. Shortstop for the Gauchos. Followed by Cole Cummings, Zach Rodriguez in the UCSB 3rd. And Sprinkle pops this one up behind the plate, giving it a look as Brock Mathis watches it sail into the seats. The Gauchos, who led the Big West in home runs this year, 61, averaging 7 runs per game. Finished 2nd in the Big West to UC Irvine.
Yeah, you don't want to make mistakes in the middle of the disc to this lineup. How evenly is this regional, Rocks, through 2 innings? 1-1, and both teams went through 1 through 9.
Another foul from Sprinkle. He homered last weekend against Bakersfield. Oddly enough, I was at the ballpark last Saturday when he homered. I was in Santa Barbara last weekend visiting family, and Rodney Boone pitched. It was great prep for today. There's a ground ball. Handled by Oklahoma State at first base, and Jake Thompson. There's one out.
Well, it's so important if you're Campbell to make sure Sprinkle is not on the base at all, because once he gets on the base, you got to pay attention to him at all times. And a lot of times when you have runners at first base that you have to pay attention to, your command at the dish wanders just a little bit.
Cole Cummings tripled and scored in the first as Justin Campbell just missed outside, ball one. But Campbell, second-year freshman, who also will hit for the Cowboys as he delivers strike one, a two-way threat for Josh Holliday and Oklahoma State. But get the fastball up there in the mid-90s in that big frame. And Cummings slaps one the other way into left past the diving Encarnacion Strand. Hit number 3 for UC Santa Barbara.
That is just beautiful work by Cummings. I mean, very often, watch this pitch where it's at. It's just a fastball, and Cummings just plays a little pepper the other way. I mean, this is just beautiful. I mean, you'd like to see more of this in the big leagues, wouldn't you, Roxy?
So runner at first, one out. Zach Rodriguez struck out in the first inning as a throw to first from Campbell. As Cummings, the runner over there, has 7 steals on the year. 1-1 top 3. Justin Campbell. And there's a bouncer over the mound. Off the glove of the second baseman Hewitt. And everybody's safe for UC Santa Barbara. That could have been a tailor-made double play ball for the Cowboys.
Yeah, what Santa Barbara runs a hit and run. So you have Cummings in motion, and Hewitt comes over, and in his mind, he's going to catch and touch the bag. But because he's trying to do 2 things at once, nothing happens. We'll get a better look here. Hewitt, I'm just going to step on the bag, but nothing happens. And just like that, Gaucho's first and second, 1 out here in the third.
In a defensive Hewitt, Wes, it looked like it hit the lip where the grass meets the dirt and took a high bounce that he didn't anticipate.
Well, this is a fast infield, and so is the dirt here in Tucson. And every once in a while in this infield, you're going to get a high hop.
2 on, 1 out, the cleanup batter, Marcus Castañon, takes ball 1.
We'll get another look at this. Here's Cummings coming into the bag, and I mean, it's a tough one. I mean, in your mind, instinctively, as a second baseman, you're thinking 2 at all times, but there are times when you read that high hop, you know you're only going to get 1 out, and it's best to just back up and get that 1 out.
2-0 the count on Marcus Castañon.
And in that case right there, the out was going to be Rodriguez at first because he doesn't run very well, and Cummings was going to be safe at second base.
Threat for the Gauchos, and the air helping UC Santa Barbara here in the third. 2 on, 1 out. Castañon singled in the first and drove in a run. Called strike, and it should have been extra bases. The ball sailed over the head of the right fielder, Kane Cabanis. But
he blew a tire.
Castañon slipped moving up the first baseline. Two balls and a strike on Castañon. The pitch. Skied behind the plate. Brock Mathis watches it sail over the screen.
That's a tough error on Hewitt, in my opinion, Roxy. It's more of a mental error than a physical error because that ball took such a high hop.
But that wicked hop, that's the thing. That's what made it, I think, even harder for him.
Yeah, it's, again, like I said, it's more of a mental than a physical. I mean, if you just thought about, make sure get 1 out, let me back up here, catch the ball, throw Rodriguez out at first.
Struck him out, went up the ladder. Second strikeout for Justin Campbell. 2 on, 2 out for Brock Mortensen.
Yeah, he just goes up the ladder right there, as you mentioned. And as you see, Mathis is already standing up. That's exactly where they wanted that ball thrown. And Campbell, with that immaculate command, doesn't miss his spot.
Mortensen, a ground out of the first, led the Big West with 15 home runs this season. Justin Campbell, a spin but no throw. As Campbell, first team all Big 12 as a utility player. They're the numbers for Mortensen on the year, but Campbell, the dual threat in terms of pitching and hitting. As Campbell hit a home run this year for Oklahoma State, as Mortensen chased a pitch in the dirt. 67 at bats, Campbell batting .269.
Every lineup that a pitcher has to face, there's normally 2 or 3 hitters in that lineup that they know those are the keys to me being successful that I have to get out. Mortensen is one of these guys.
Right in there, it's 0-2 on Brock Mortensen, who began his college career as a football player at Cal Poly. Then transferred to Cuesta Junior College before embarking on his baseball career at UC Santa Barbara. The pitch, and Mortensen swings and skies it toward right. Coming in, Cade Cabanis. And the Gauchos strand 2. Top of the order for Oklahoma State in the home third. Knotted at 1. Tied at 1. The Gauchos, the Cowboys, to the last of the third. Top of the order for Oklahoma State. And the winner of our regional in Tucson will take on the winner of the Oxford regional, hosted by Ole Miss, who will play Southeast Missouri State later tonight. Game 1, and they're in the top of the 6th. They're in Oxford, and Florida State has a 3-2 lead on Southern Miss. The Noles just took the lead on a home run. In the dirt from Rodney Boone is Caden Trenkle leads it off. He flew out to right to lead it off for Oklahoma State, followed by Max Hewitt and Christian Encarnacion Strand in the Oklahoma State third. Ground ball, scooped by Johnson, race to the bag, and close play, and they got him at first base. Kyle Johnson needed all that 6'5" frame to stretch and beat Trenkle to the bag for the out.
Well, Andrew Chekets told us this week, he said, Johnson is the best fielding first baseman that I have ever had. And you see Boone saying, give me the ball, and Johnson saying, no chance, because if I give it to you, he's safe.
It appears we're going to have our first official review.
And we're going to take a look. Does
here
he get
on this
there?
play at
Does
first
he get
base.
There? No, he got it. He got it. He got him.
It's very close.
I'm not going to side with the first baseman, but he got him. He did.
I don't see the evidence to overturn the call. Again, it's got to be 100% indisputable.
Yeah, it's not a bad time for a review because obviously you got your leadoff hitter gets on. So it's a good review by Josh Holliday. But it appears, as you mentioned, Roxy, there's nothing very discernible there that says, hey, he missed it.
Again, the ruling on the field is out at first base. That is our plate umpire, Perry Costello, and Eric Lovelace, our first base umpire, who made that call, the bang-bang play at first. And again, the ruling is Johnson got Trenkle at first base.
We'll get another look right now. What's that old saying they had, Roxy?
Tie goes to the runner?
To what? Yeah, but hey, is it tie? No. I will tell you, that is, how tight can you get?
I think the call will have to stand on the field. I just don't see enough either way. If the call had been safe at first base, I think we would have seen call stands also. But that's just my guess here. Let's see how we do this for this weekend.
I agree.
Usually we're not very good at this.
No, I'm not.
He's out at first base. So after review, Caden Trenkle is retired. There's one gone in the bottom of the third. Now here are the reviewable plays this year under the guidelines from the NCAA. Fair or foul on a ball beyond a base, scoring plays, what we just saw, base running, force or tag plays at any base. So this is what is reviewable and can go back to the review center by the NCAA. Ball one to Max Hewitt, who walked and scored in the first for Oklahoma State.
Boy, how good is it? And just tremendous to be back in regionals, huh?
Called strike.
"2019 was the last time we were doing this."
And it's great to see postseason baseball back across the world of college baseball as Hewitt a drive to right. Backing up, now coming in, Zach Rodriguez, who is a converted outfielder who's came in as an infielder. They moved him to right out of necessity, and it's worked for Rodriguez and the Gauchos. Two gone for Christian Encarnacion Strand. So Oklahoma State averaging 7.5 runs a game, one of the top offensive clubs in the country. Third in on base percentage in the Big 12, third in slugging. As Encarnacion Strand waves at a pitch in the dirt for strike one, a single in the first inning.
These type of hitters can take swings like that to where if you didn't know the kid, what his numbers were, you'd say, well, I mean, he can't hit. I mean, with that being said, these type of hitters do not miss pitchers' mistakes. He's just a tremendous, tremendous threat at the dish.
1-1 pitch. Backs him off the plate as Encarnacion Strand hit for the cycle in a game earlier this season. April 21st, he hit for the cycle against Arkansas Pine Bluff. Good pitch from Boone. In that ball game against Arkansas Pine Bluff, it was a 12-7 inning win for Oklahoma State. That ball deep but foul off the bat of Encarnacion Strand.
Well, you can see what he does is that he's not diving on the outside part of the plate, but he's covering the outside of the part of the plate. And that's why he's so difficult to pitch to. He can reach anything. And then you see the fastball in, and that is part of the plan of the Gauchos. If you walk him right now, you're okay. There's 2 outs. But he will lean out over the outside part of the plate.
He's gone.
Weak number back toward the mound. Boone fields and throws out Encarnacion Strand. And a 1-2-3 bottom of the third for Rodney Boone. 1-1 to the fourth. Tied at 1, UC Santa Barbara, Oklahoma State. Game 1 of the Tucson Regional. As we head to the fourth inning, 6, 7, and 8 due up for the Gauchos against Justin Campbell. For around-the-clock multi-game coverage, scores and highlights, check out Squeeze Play. Available on the ESPN app throughout the college baseball regionals. Squeeze Play will feature up to 4 live games simultaneously, so go check it out on the ESPN app. A foul out for Jason Willow in the second. And the Gauchos center fielder, 1 ball, 1 strike, facing Justin Campbell starting the fourth. Pitch. Bunted toward third, tough play. Encarnacion Strand rifles it to first and safe on a bunt hit. And Willow is on to start the fourth, hit number 4 for UC Santa Barbara.
That's why you love college baseball, right? You don't see this much in the big leagues nowadays, but in college you will see it, and it's a tremendous, tremendous bunt by Willow. And the key to bunting for a hit is not getting out of the box, it's location. And as long as you get the ball, we'll get a better look right at here. Make sure he gets the ball in the right location, and that's half the battle. Speed's the other. And just like that, Gauchos run it first and no outs.
Throw to first, Willow dives back. As Jason Willow has 13 steals, he's been caught twice this year. As McLean O'Connor, the batter, he walked in the second inning. So Willow with good speed, the runner at first. Justin Campbell, the pitch, and showing bunt again as a throw to first by Mathis. And Willow dives back as O'Connor taking ball one. Close play, but Willow getting back. Each team getting a run in the first inning. RBI single for Marcos Castañon.
When you play
for UC Santa Barbara, and an error helping Oklahoma State get on the board. Max Hewitt scoring.
When you play a team like UC Santa Barbara, you see 82 stolen bases. It does affect you, and it affects your pitchers because they got to worry about that guy over there, but they also have to worry about locating their pitches at the dish.
Runner goes, and the hit and run works for the Gauchos. Around to third goes Willow, and UC Santa Barbara runners at the corners and nobody out here in the fourth for Kyle Johnson. But the hit and run, Wes, we saw Matt Gold, the shortstop, vacate his position.
Well, he did, and O'Connor, it almost looks like O'Connor out of his peripheral vision saw that Bolden was covering, and he tried to pull this pitch. Normally you'll see it, right-handed hitter will try to hit it the other way, but this works out perfectly for the Gauchos. First and third, no outs here in the fourth.
Andrew Checketts and the Gauchos threatening against Campbell here in the fourth. Kyle Johnson a fly out in the second. Out to the mound here is the veteran pitching coach for Oklahoma State, Rob Walton, who is a great pitcher in his own right at Oklahoma State. And some trouble for Justin Campbell in the fourth inning.
Yeah, Rob actually was the former head coach at Oral Roberts as well. But as you mentioned, one of the greats in Oklahoma State history. And right now, my guess is what he's telling Campbell, listen, that runner at third, we're going to give him that. And that's where it stops. In your mind, you're thinking, if we get out of this inning, only giving up one run, that's a good inning.
And a star-studded coaching staff, to say the least, for Josh Holliday, as there's a line so far for Justin Campbell.
I'm laughing because that star-studded coaching staff is star-studded. Matt Holliday, Robin Ventura.
Rob Walton. This great college pitcher. Moved to first. Diving back is O'Connor. Yet, for Oklahoma State, you heard Wes Wright. Fans who don't follow the Cowboys. Robin Ventura is an undergraduate assistant coach for Josh Holliday. And Josh Holliday's brother, you may have heard of him, Matt Holliday. He's the volunteer coach. Foul ball from Kyle Johnson. How about having that in your dugout as a resource for Josh Holliday? Having Matt Holliday and Robin Ventura in your dugout.
And, you know, both are there, not for the money. They're there because they love the game of baseball and they love coaching.
Popped up by Johnson. Just what Oklahoma State needed. Matt Gold to the shortstop, and the runners have to stay put. So one out. Gianni Bloom will be the batter. There is longtime major leaguer, former White Sox skipper, and current undergraduate student at Oklahoma State. Robin Ventura has gone back. He is finishing up his degree. It still has a little ways to go. But how great is that he comes back to get that degree despite having a terrific major league career and also a big league manager?
That just tells you a lot about him, the person.
Gianni Bloom fouled out in the second. Justin Campbell will move to first. And boy, if Campbell can get a ground ball and a double play to get out of this, what a lift it would be for Oklahoma State.
Yeah, but I will tell you this, the squeeze is in play right here. You got the 9-hole hitter in Bloom, and he's not known for his hitting. Not that he can't hit, but a squeeze is in play.
Bunt. Campbell shovels to the plate and out at the plate trying to score. Jason Willow was called out and he threw his hands up immediately saying, I got in there. You got to challenge this one.
I'm not so sure he did get in there, and it's a great play by Campbell. I mean, we'll get a look at it right here. There's the squeeze, the bunt's down. Watch Campbell. Just uses his glove, a tremendous flip to Mathis behind the dish. Yeah, I don't know, Rox. We'll get a different angle. This angle right here, we should help us.
What an effort, though, by Campbell, regardless of what happens with this review.
He did get in, unless, well,
you can't see because the umpire there,
Perry Costello,
is
the home
blocking
plate
our view.
umpire. This is going to be a tough one. You know, Rox,
Okay, I'll give you my read on this one, Wes.
Huh?
I think he's safe. I don't know if we have the evidence because of the one replay we have. As the umpire,
right
Perry Costello's in the way. This is the best view we could have, but Perry Costello's right in the way.
If we freeze it there, it's so tough. And again, I think this is no different than the play we had at first, Roxy, that if there's nothing obvious, his hand is on the plate now. But where's the glove? We can't tell.
I think he's safe.
It's tough. This really is tough. Do we get it here?
Already our second review of game one.
You know what? That angle right there is the one that's a lot easier to see. And if we can run that again, that angle right there, you can see the hand on the dish and Mathis' glove.
What an effort, though, by Campbell.
Oh, it's a tremendous play. On the plate, but the other angle, which I say.
They've overturned the call.
Right
UC
there.
Santa Barbara has the lead.
And I think it was the angle we had prior to the last one. I don't know if we can run that again, but that was the one that you could see it pretty clear. So the squeeze play does work for the Gauchos, albeit a tremendous play by Campbell.
2-1 Gauchos, 1 out. O'Connor at second, Bloom at first base. Top of the order, Jordan Sprinkle is 0 for 2, a couple of groundouts. Sacrifice fielder's choice, Bloom an RBI, and it's a 2-1 Gauchos lead. Runners go. Safe at third base on the steal. Bloom does take second, but McLean O'Connor, who's been dealing with a hamstring injury all season, fifth stolen base, and Bloom takes second.
This is just great baseball by UC Santa Barbara and great thinking by the Gauchos. It's the best time in the world to do something like this right after something controversial happened on the field, because the last thing an opponent thinks you're going to do.
Sprinkle to the right side. That'll bring home a run. Taking third as Bloom is McLean O'Connor scores, and it's a 3-1 UC Santa Barbara lead.
But it's the best time to do something because there was something controversial, and the last thing an opponent's normally thinking is two guys are going to take off on a double steal, and that's exactly what Santa Barbara does. And because they did it, they now take a 2-run lead.
Cole Cummings 2 for 2 has scored a run, and a strike from Justin Campbell. Bounced foul. So the Gauchos, who lead the Big West in steals, top 20 in the country in stolen bases this year, pull off the double steal, and now they have a 2-run lead and still batting in the fourth. The pitch. That's high. And that one hit Cummings. And Cummings is on for the third time. It is the 10th time this season he has been hit by a pitch. Runners at the corners, 2 gone for Zach Rodriguez.
There's a fastball in.
And for the Gauchos, it's the 98th time they've had a batter hit this season, 5th in the country. On the ground to second base, down to a knee. Max Hewitt makes the play, side retired. The Gauchos reclaim the lead. 2 runs here in the top of the 4th. 3-1. UC Santa Barbara, bang play at the plate, and the review goes the Gauchos' way. And they have the lead. Gauchos put up a pair in the top of the inning and carry a 3-1 lead to the bottom of the 4th. Middle third of the order for Oklahoma State here in the home 4th. Jake Thompson, Carson McCusker, Cade Cabanis. For Josh Holliday and Oklahoma State as Rodney Boone's pitch is driven deep to right field. Back there, and it is gone to right center. Jake Thompson unloads and gets a run back for the Cowboys' 4th of the year.
So big for the Cowboys. And we talked about this lineup. They can lead the yard up and down the lineup, and no lead is safe. They're one of the best hitting clubs in the country. And how about the cowboy hat they put on them?
Boy, Jake Thompson crushed that one.
Watch this. It's just a fastball in. Thompson said,
you think he
thank
knew
you.
it?
Well, pitchers, they know. They really do.
No, I meant Thompson.
Wait, now I'm talking about Boone. Watch Boone. Thompson knew, but so did Boone.
And that high wall and 405 feet away. And the cowboy hat to boot. Carson McCusker at the plate. A 6'8" McCusker. Good breaking ball from Rodney Boone, evens the count.
That's just really good hitting by Thompson. Santa Barbara takes a 2-run lead. He gets in the box ready to swing from pitch 1.
Strikeout number 4 for Rodney Boone. 1 out in the bottom of the 4th, so the run for Oklahoma State, the homer by Thompson, is first since he took Texas deep April 25th.
It's a good changeup on the outside part.
Right fielder Cade Cabanis, who struck out in the second, as Rodney Boone's breaking ball waved out and missed.
Come on, Ron. Come on, man. Here you go. Come on, Ron. All right, kid. Let's go. 2-2 right here. Good.
0-2.
You know, Roxy, you talked about Matt Holliday and Robert Ventura, but, you know, Matt Holliday, when I think of him as a hitter, when he got in the box, he was ready to swing from the get-go. Just somebody like a Dave Winfield, and that's exactly what Thompson reminded me of, as you see strike 3 on a fastball right down the middle.
5th for Boone. 2 gone in the last of the 4th inning.
It's just a fastball right down the middle.
DH Nolan McClain reached out an infield hit in the second. 2 outs here in the bottom of the 4th inning. 3-2 UC Santa Barbara, the 3 seed leading the 2 seed in this Tucson Regional, Oklahoma State. Still to come later tonight, Arizona and Grand Canyon round out our field in Tucson as a called strike from McClain.
Good.
Spoiled foul, 0-2. Well, yeah, you mentioned Ventura and Holiday. It's not like they're in it for the money. They did okay for themselves already.
You think? Yeah. Again.
Well, Matt Holiday, as McLean down on strikes, he earned almost $160 million in his major league career. 3 straight strikeouts for Boone, but a homer from Jake Thompson to get a run back to Oklahoma State.
Fastball in, cuts the lead to 1.
Tucson, Arizona. Big Air Force town. A naval town, Tucson. Leading off the 5th, first pitch, and Marcos Castañon, the sharp grounder through the hole. 6 hits now for the Gauchos, who lead 3-2. Second hit for Castañon to bring up Brock Mortensen.
You gotta love both of these clubs are aggressive from pitch 1, and it's been that way since inning 1. These leadoff hitters for the Gauchos getting on base is you can ill afford to do that with how they run the bases.
The Big West home run leader, Mortensen. He offers at the first pitch and hacks it foul. That long blonde hair flowing, making West
Why you
Clemens
gotta talk
jealous.
about hair, Roxy? Why?
Just mentioning, it's very noticeable, the blonde hair. That's a Santa Barbara dude right there for you.
I was going to say.
And before his baseball career at UC Santa Barbara, Brock Mortensen was a football player up the road at Cal Poly. Then decided to focus on baseball, went to a junior college, ended up as Andrew Checkett's left fielder and the Big West home run leader this year. Castañon at first. Campbell will move that way and easily getting back as Castañon. There he's got the big oven mitt on the hand, and he's got to be protecting of those hands considering that he missed a significant amount of time this year with a broken hamate bone. Another foul for Brock Mortensen.
Campbell has been throwing him nothing but fastballs this entire game, and Mortensen has been tardy on every fastball.
He's loaded up. Look at both hands. Another foul for Mortensen out of play.
I will tell you that I don't think State's going to be calling Campbell to throw anything but a fastball right now until Mortensen makes an adjustment. You don't want to throw him something soft, as you took a look at the protection on Castañon at first.
And that one hit him. Second Gaucho that's been hit today. Mortensen hit for the 19th time this season.
What is that, 99 now, Roxy?
Yep. So 2 on, nobody out for Jason Willow, who singled in the 4th.
Well, this is where if you're Oklahoma State, you got to ask the question is UC Santa Barbara going to bunt right here? You got to remember who's behind O'Connor. They go to the 7, 8, 9 hole after that. So that's always a factor in a skipper's mind is who do they have behind if I bunt? And my guess is this is just communication between Mathis and Campbell on what play they're going to run, what bunt defense they're going to run. My guess is that Campbell is going to do what they call an inside move just to see if Willow will commit and show if he's bunting or not. Inside move would be a Campbell just turning inside towards second base.
Squaring already is Jason Willow. Now pulls the bat back and swings, and he fouled it straight back. And
this is Andrew
trying to see if he could draw the defense in.
Yeah, this is Andrew Checketts at his best. This is a slash, and the hitter's job when you have a slash. Infield is playing in on the corners, expecting the bunt, but a slash is just to try to pull the bat back and hit the ball on the ground anywhere.
0-2 as he popped the bunt foul.
This is an interesting pitch right here. There's a lot of skippers that keep the bunt on, because bunting should be the easiest thing a hitter does, and there's some that will take it off. Now Willow has swung the bat very well recently, but I wouldn't be surprised if the bunt still stays on.
Two on, nobody out. The Gauchos up 3-2. Top of the fifth. As Justin Campbell at 75 pitches now, the second-year freshman right-hander, reaching for it and flaring it to right, hustling over and in, and making the catch on the move is Cade Cabanis. And the runners have to get back as the throw got away from Christian Encarnacion Strand, and that's a free 90 feet. A mistake by Oklahoma State. And the Gauchos catch a break here.
Well,
and actually, with the ball going out of play,
1+1.
1+1, and it's 4-2 Gauchos, and a third is Mortensen.
Yeah, Cabanis makes a tremendous play. He's playing deep, and we talked about how deep this outfield is and how big it is, and Cabanis makes a great running catch. And unfortunately for the Cowboys, after he makes this catch, he makes this throw, and Encarnacion can't handle it. And that's one of those throws to where you just got to block it and get your body in front at all costs. You just got to turn yourself into a wall. And now the Gauchos are set up second and third, one out, opportunity to score another run.
And the infield forced in here for Oklahoma State with the Cowboys trailing 4-2 and one out. And Mortensen at third. McLean O'Connor, who's walked and singled and scored a run today for the Gauchos.
Well, it's a veteran hitter for the Gauchos.
Just missed
you
from
just
Campbell.
Wonder here what Oklahoma State's thinking is from a pitching standpoint to O'Connor. First base is open, but you have the left-handed Johnson on deck. And ideally, you don't want bases loaded and Johnson up.
McLean O'Connor, a fly ball, right field. This is deep enough to score the run. Even though Cade Cabanis has a cannon for an arm. As coming in is Brock Mortensen, and it's 5-2 UC Santa Barbara.
Well, that's a good job by a veteran hitter in O'Connor. And Roxy, you mentioned Cabanis' cannon for an arm. That is a cannon. Cabanis threw this ball from deep right. We'll get another look at it. Watch Cabanis. Look where he throws this ball from, folks. This is deep, deep right. And watch, this play is much closer than anyone would ever think.
Sacrifice fly, 5-2 Gauchos. Kyle Johnson 0 for 2 with a foul ball. Well, Cabanis out there in right field. That's as good an arm as you're going to find in college baseball in right field. Plus arm, 15 career outfield assists, and the errant throw, though, by Cabanis helping the Gauchos out here, and an ill-advised throw.
Well, you see Encarnacion right there. It went through his legs. And, again, if you're over there, you're thinking, what's the situation? This ball can't get past me. You just drop to your knees, and you just turn into a catcher with no protective gear.
2 errors by the Cowboys today. The first one didn't come back to hurt them, as Campbell was able to work out of that inning. But the throwing error here in the 5th, opening the door, and the Gauchos have gotten 2. And a walk for Kyle Johnson.
Yeah, Campbell's up at 84 pitches right now, but nobody's up in the Cowboys' pen.
Second walk issued by Campbell, who's also hit 2 batters today. And normally, Justin Campbell, West, has really good command.
He has immaculate command. You see the 2 walks today, just through 4 2/3, and he's hit a couple guys.
Gianni Bloom, the batter, is a move to first. He was the batter at the plate in the 4th, where laid down that safety squeeze bunt, where initially Jason Willow was called out at home plate trying to score, but then after video review, the call was overturned.
Well, if you're Andrew Checketts and you're nursing, and I say nursing a 5-2 lead, because that's what you're doing. There's no lead that's safe against this Oklahoma State lineup.
Justin Campbell, the 1-strike pitch. 0-2. Good fastball to the outer half of the plate. First game this season, Campbell has hit multiple batters. And the first time in about a month that he's walked 2 or more in a start.
Come on, baby. All right, guys, foul.
0-2 the count on the 9-hitter Bloom. 2 outs, runner at first is Johnson. Justin Campbell, the pitch. Upstairs. Here it comes, and Bloom goes after it and hits it a mile high in the infield. Near the bag at second base, calling for it. Max Hewitt puts it away. 2 more for the Gauchos. 5-2 UCSB. 2 Santa Barbara leading as we go to the bottom of the 5th. In the top of the 4th, this safety squeeze originally called out off the bat of Gianni Bloom as Jason Willow trying to score after video review was overturned, ruled safe. That was a 2-run 4th. Then Oklahoma State comes back with a long home run from Jake Thompson to make it a 1-run game. But then in the top of the 5th, 2 more runs for the Gauchos, both unearned because of this throw from Cade Cabanis. And the Gauchos took advantage in a 5-2 lead. 8-9-1 for Oklahoma State in the home 5th. Brock Mathis, who struck out in the 2nd, drives this pitch out towards center, but plenty of room for Jason Willow. And there's 1 away.
Well, I tell you, Boone has been tremendous as we take a look at the game track right here. 5 runs scored by 5 different UC Santa Barbara players. And, of course, that blast by Jake Thompson, the solo home run in the 4th. But Boone has been so efficient in this game. As we head to the bottom of the 5th, just 64 pitches.
Ball 1 to Matt Golda, who popped out in the 2nd, playing at shortstop for Josh Holliday and Oklahoma State. This is game 1. Game 2 later tonight. The number 5 national seed and the host, Jay Johnson's Arizona Wildcats, will take on Grand Canyon. First-time entrance into the NCAA tournament. Fouled straight back. The NCAA Regionals coverage for all 16 sites continues tomorrow on ESPN3 and the ESPN app. For more information, visit ncaa.com, the home for all 90 NCAA championships. Fouled away by Golda. Both of these programs, not only in the NCAA baseball tournament as at-larges, but they were also in the men's basketball tournament in Indianapolis.
Yes.
UC Santa Barbara was the Big West champions, and Oklahoma State made it as an at-large with Cade Cunningham, who could be the #1 overall pick in the NBA draft coming up.
Well, I'll tell you something else. The Women's College World Series softball is going on. Oklahoma State is participating in that as well.
And same with the Arizona Wildcats.
Big upset last night, right? Oklahoma went down.
James Madison.
Amazing.
1-2. Swing and a miss.
Great.
7 strikeouts for Rodney Boone. 2 gone to the 5th. And a look at our bracket. And yes, Arizona Grand Canyon later tonight. And you want to win to stay in that winner's bracket. And the #5 national seed Wildcats. And this will match up with the Oxford, Mississippi regional, as Ole Miss, the #12 national seed. Called strike to Caden Trankel, who's 0 for 2, a fly out and a ground out.
Which I believe Kendall Rogers, D1 Baseball, said that's the region of death #2.
Fouled away. Yeah, that's a tough one. Florida State, Southern Miss. And that one with the Rebels. Rodney Boone, the Co-Big West Pitcher of the Year. And the first time a Gaucho has won that award. Believe it or not. Considering
well,
they've had 2 Major League Cy Young Award winners that have worn a Gaucho uniform. In the dirt, waved at and missed. Picked up, Gianni Bloom completes the strikeout. 8 punch-outs for Rodney Boone. 5-2 Gauchos to the 6th.
Welcome everyone to Omaha, Nebraska.
That one is caught. Making the catch.
That one's going to end up on SportsCenter.
Anchored down. Vanderbilt on top of the college baseball world again.
College World Series begins on ESPN June 19th from Omaha. Ball 1 to Jordan Sprinkle, top of the order for the Gauchos in a 6, leading Oklahoma State 5-2 with Wes Clements and our ESPN crew. Roxy Bernstein with you, the Tucson Regional, Game 1. Jordan Sprinkle 0 for 3 with an RBI. Justin Campbell working here into the 6th, now over 90 pitches. 2-1. But these 2 teams, along with Arizona, made up 3/4 of 1/2 of the bracket of the 2016 College World Series. Sprinkle a liner to left center. That gets down into the alleyway. Carson McCusker fires it in, and Sprinkle takes a wide turn, stays at first base. Hit #7 for UC Santa Barbara.
Well, we talked about notable major leaguers from UC Santa Barbara. None other than Shane Bieber, Chris Spire, Michael Young, and the lefty Barry Zito.
Now Barry Zito began his college career at UC Santa Barbara, finished up at USC, but still played for the Gauchos. Won a Cy Young
are claiming him
with the Oakland Athletics. Moved to first. Sprinkle dives back as Jordan Sprinkle has 25 stolen bases this season. Leading the Big West. Cummings having a good day at the plate. Couple of hits, hit by a pitch. He scored a run. Got the offense going with a triple in the first inning. Low strike given to Justin Campbell.
Well, Campbell's, you see the pitch count, 93 right now. You just wonder how much longer they want to extend Campbell. To the Cowboys.
Campbell had given up 1 run in his last 3 starts. And has given up 5 in this one, but his defense has not helped him.
It's a good job by Campbell. You just saw Campbell when he set. Obviously Sprinkle's on first base, and he's got over 25 stolen bases. As a pitcher, you got to vary your time sometimes so that people like Sprinkle, who can fly, cannot time you.
There's a ground ball pulled into right field, and a base hit. Sprinkle hits the bag at second. And he darts for third as Cade Cabanis gets the ball in. And a 3-for-3 day as Cole Cummings aboard again. And the Gauchos with traffic for Justin Campbell to deal with here in the sixth.
Well, you got to like what Andrew Checketts does here. He doesn't let Sprinkle run. Why? Because that 3-4 hole is open because Thompson's got to hold Sprinkle. And now you see the bullpen for the Cowboys start to move around. But Sprinkle, that's just great instincts that great base runners have. He doesn't need a third base coach to know he can get over to third base on that chopper.
This ties the season most for hits allowed in a game by Campbell. A move to first. If you're wondering what's his highest pitch count for a game this season, 127. And we're at 95 here. Nobody out of the sixth. Jordan Sprinkle at third, Cole Cummings at first, and Zach Rodriguez 0 for 3 at the plate for UC Santa Barbara. Out to right, coming in. Cabanis makes the catch. Sprinkle tagging. Throw to the plate is offline. Jordan Sprinkle scores a sac fly from Zach Rodriguez. 6-2 Gauchos.
Well, it's just good fundamental situational hitting by the Gauchos. And by Rodriguez, the freshman who leads the Gauchos in RBIs. It's just a fastball on the outside part. Just hits it deep enough out to Cabanis. And Sprinkle's just got too much speed.
Cummings stayed at first base. One out for Marcus Castagnon. Singled and scored in the fifth. He's 2 for 3. He's driven in a run today. As Cummings gets back to the bag again. Cummings a threat to run with 7 steals as Bryce Osmond, a right-hander, tuning up in the bullpen for the Cowboys.
Ordinarily,
but it's just been some bad luck and frustration for Oklahoma State in this one. As a high fly off the bat of Castagnon to the left field corner. Into foul ground, and running out of room is Carson McCusker. But, Wes, you look at it, the Gauchos, they've scored on a squeeze play, and a video review that was overturned, a ground out, that weird throwing error that brought in a run, and they've got 2 sacrifice flies.
That's who they are. I mean, they always have been that way under Andrew Checketts. They're fundamentally sound from an offensive standpoint. They throw the whole box at you. But what I started to say is ordinarily you would not think of a 4-hitter being somebody that you hit and run with, but not with the Gauchos. They could hit and run with Castagnon in a heartbeat right here.
A chess match between the 2 dugouts. As Castagnon takes a big rip and fouls it off. He'll take a long walk around home plate. Andrew Checketts, skipper for the Gauchos in his 10th season. On the other side, the pitching coach right there for Oklahoma State, Rob Walton, working with Josh Holliday. Both of them 9 years in Stillwater.
Good time for a pitch out. And ordinarily, if you're going to throw a pitch out, you would not want to throw to first. You'd want a runner to feel comfortable over there and just leave him alone. But
Castagnon to left center. Another hit for UC Santa Barbara. This one a roll all the way to the track. Caden Trenko picks it up. Around third, here comes Cole Cummings. He will score an RBI double for Marcos Castagnon, who's driven in 2 today. And the Gauchos extend the lead to 7-2 over Oklahoma State.
well, we'll get a look at it. It's a breaking pitch on the outside part, and Castagnon, he doesn't miss it, finds that left center gap. But what a great job by Spencer Erdman, the third base coach at UC Santa Barbara. Even with 1 out here, He sends the runner home.
Waved at and missed by Brock Mortensen, who was hit by a pitch and scored a run in the 5th. I think the Gauchos are happy to have Marcos Castañón back in the lineup.
Hey, are you kidding me? Andrew Checkett's kind of made it clear to us. He makes a big difference in our lineup.
And he just returned last weekend. His first action since coming back from that broken hamate bone and surgery. The most runs and hits allowed in a start this season by Justin Campbell. Foul ball deep off the bat of the Big West home run leader, Brock Mortensen.
Ordinarily, you'd probably think chasing 7-2 right now. If you're Oklahoma State with first base open, you might think Mortensen, who's got all the home runs, leads the Gauchos in home runs. You'd say, hey, I'll just put him on. But Campbell has had a lot of success with Mortensen today.
Going through the signs is Brock Mathis, and you feel for Campbell because, Wes, he's been so good all season long for Oklahoma State. First team All-League, All-American, threw a no-hitter against Kansas back on May 8th. Just one walk shy of a perfect game. And just the third 9-inning no-hitter in Oklahoma State history by Justin Campbell.
His ERA coming into today's game is just 2.08. He's had a tremendous year.
Spin but no throw from Campbell, who originally out of high school had committed to Tulane, the Simi Valley, California native, Southern California product. Over 100 pitches now, but committed to Tulane, then backed off. And a coaching change there. And a foul for Mortensen. And then looked at a couple of West Coast schools. USC was hot after him. Washington. Asked Andrew Checketts, and the Gauchos tried to get in on him, but they were a little too late, he said. And he ends up going to Oklahoma State. And a big get for Josh Holliday as Campbell's emerged as their #1 starter. Drafted by the Astros in the 18th round of high school.
But that's the second time you see Campbell do the inside move, and this is just a sign that a pitcher's not comfortable, and he's just trying to buy a little bit more time.
Driven by Mortensen. Deep to right. Back is Cabinets on the track. Makes the catch. And Castañón tags and scoots over to third on a deep flyout off the bat of Mortensen. Just missed knocking it out of here. Now Jason Willow 1 for 3 with a run will climb in with 2 outs. And Castañón, the runner at third base. From the windup, Campbell.
That's a little bit interesting. With Campbell in the windup, you mentioned Castañón's over at third, and you know Spencer Erdman, third base coach for the Gauchos, is saying, hey, anything in the dirt, just be alive right here because you can get a walking lead with Campbell going from the windup here. A lot of pressure on Mathis behind the dish on anything that's off speed. There you get a good look at it right there.
Nice job by Brock Mathis behind the plate.
And there's that breaking ball. Just wonder if they're going to give in to Willow on a 3-1 fastball. You got the veteran O'Connor on deck. That's a great pitch on the outside park.
Full count on Jason Willow. So Osmond, who was up, Bryce Osmond not getting loose any longer. As Campbell missing, third walk issued by Justin Campbell. Runners at the corners with 2 gone. And McLean O'Connor coming up for UC Santa Barbara.
Well, my guess, Roxy, is just Oklahoma State has determined how many more hitters they're going to let Campbell go. And my guess is this could be the last hitter if he doesn't get him. And the bullpen it doesn't take long to get loose here in Tucson.
On the edge and a called strike to McLean O'Connor. Sac fly in the 5th. Single and a run in the 4th, and he walked in the 2nd inning.
There's just so many things that you got to be aware of when you play UC Santa Barbara. And yes, a 2-out bunt is in play.
Good breaking ball. And now back throwing is Bryce Osmond.
You see Encarnacion at third base is deep. That's a gift if you get it down. And you got the right guy at the dish in O'Connor.
Yeah, but with 2 strikes, he's not putting it down now.
No. Right. But I did say it prior.
Yes, that's true. You do.
You'll count it as a win.
Castellon at third, Willow at first, the 0-2. O'Connor on the ground. Into left, another hit for the Gauchos, and another run. McLean O'Connor has driven in 2 today, and getting to third is Jason Willow. 8-2 UC Santa Barbara.
Well, this is a 0-2 breaking pitch right down the middle, and you mentioned it, Roxy. You hate to see it. Campbell's had such a tremendous year. But this is just a breaking ball, 0-2, and it's right down the middle, and O'Connor finds the 5-6 hole. But how about Willow at first base, the base running of these Gauchos? You got McCuster's playing deep and left. They just continue to put pressure on you, do the Gauchos, and their base running.
Kyle Johnson offers at the first pitch. Skies it foul, giving it a look as Encarnacion Strand out of play. But are you surprised that Campbell's still going here?
We're seeing Willow get over to third base. And Roxy, to be honest with you, yes, I am. But with that being said, nobody knows his pitcher better than Josh Holliday and Rob Walton, the pitching coach.
Campbell had given up a total of 8 runs in the last 5 starts. And has given up 8 in this one. 1 strike pitch. 0-2 on Kyle Johnson, the Gauchos first baseman. Runners in the corners, 2 outs. It was a 1-1 ball game to the 4th. The Gauchos, 2 in the 4th, 2 in the 5th, 3 here in the 6th, and still batting, leading at 8-2. And the runner takes off from first and hung up, and a throw down to third and out at third base. Brock Mathis, who checked on the runner. McLean O'Connor was trying to draw a throw. And bizarre ending to the top of the 6th. And it appears UC Santa Barbara is going to challenge and want a review here, feeling that Jason Willow did get back, and the umpires are getting together now near the mound, and they will throw the headsets on to review. So the ruling on the field is the runner Willow out at third base.
Watch O'Connor. He takes off. Willow's at third base, and Mathis kind of fakes like he's throwing. And Willow wasn't but 10 feet off the bag, so he wasn't going anywhere. Not sure what kind of angle we're going to get on this review.
It is under review. The call on the field is Jason Willow was out at third base. On the throw was Brock Mathis bluffed down to second, with McLean O'Connor trying to either draw a throw or get in a rundown to allow Willow to score. Willow bluffed down the line when he thought possibly that Mathis was going to throw down, then darted back in that close play.
Well, I'm not sure we're going to get about any kind of look that's going to be able to overturn this call. We had a great look if Eric Lovelace, the first base umpire, wasn't standing where he's standing, but he is. Take a look at Josh Holliday, and he's obviously hoping that there is no change, but I think they leave the call as it is, Roxy. There's just no look.
Yeah, I'm with you that I just don't see the evidence to overturn this, even though I think Willow may have gotten back. This might be the best look we have.
This one. Hey, that's so close. I mean, it's a great look. Great look. But for me, I'm not sure you can overturn that at all. A little bit shocked that Willow, he's a great base runner, but I mean, it's a good play by Mathis.
So a lengthy review. It is our third review of the day. And the first two have both gone Santa Barbara's direction. And what we'll call 3B. Out.
Yeah.
Out third. So Jason Willow out at third, but three more for the Gaucho. 8-2 UCSB. The NCAA Baseball Regionals presented by Capital One. The Tucson Regional, High Corbett Field in Tucson, Arizona, Game 1. And the opening round at beautiful Old Main on the University of Arizona campus
in Tucson.
About, what, a mile and a half, 2 miles from High Corbett Field?
Yeah, I'd say it's right center from the home plate view.
Breaking ball high to Max Hewitt, 2, 3, and 4 for the Cowboys in the sixth. 8-2, the Gauchos leading. Hewitt followed by Christian Encarnacion Strand and Jake Thompson against Rodney Boone. Called strike 1-1. And what's the decision that Andrew Checkett's made for UC Santa Barbara? His regular Friday guy all season has been Michael McGreevy, who is terrific. 9-1 and a 2.92 ERA. And Rodney Boone has been his number 2 starter all year, going on Saturdays when the Big West Conference played a 4-game weekend series all year. And they would play doubleheaders on Saturday, and Boone would start game 1 of that double dip. But Checkett's electing to start Boone here in game 1 against Oklahoma State instead of going with the regular Friday guy McGreevy.
Well, we can only guess what was behind Andrew Checkett's thinking, but I mean, some stuff that you might throw out there. I mean, you're talking about a Big 12 conference where they have a lot of power arms. So they're used to seeing power arms. And we talked about Boone. He's not a hard thrower at all. He's a strike thrower. And he's got 4 different pitches that he can throw 4 strikes.
That's Michael McGreevy in the Gauchos dugout.
And Michael McGreevy, you're looking at a first-round draft pick in the upcoming Major League Draft. So is it surprising to some? You probably say yes, but you understand Andrew Checkett's thinking. You're running a guy out there in Boone who's got 10 wins this year.
Hit sharply back up the middle, and the Cowboys have a start in the 6th. Max Hewitt aboard for the second time. He walked back in the first and scored a run. Hit number 4 for Oklahoma State to start the 6th, and leading RBI guy for the Cowboys and number 2 in the country in RBIs, Christian Encarnacion Strand coming up.
Well, you see Matt Holliday standing right behind Hewitt, coaching first base. But this is, you know, I've mentioned it before. A 3-run lead's not a big lead. A 4-run lead, nor is a 6 against this offense. So drop an anchor. This game is far from being over. Take a look at Matt Holliday.
Matt Holliday still looks like he could play. 7-time All-Star.
One of my favorite hitters to watch hit. Got in a box ready to swing from pitch 1. 7-time All-Star.
Great run in Colorado's with Oakland, St. Louis, Yankees. And Encarnacion Strand is hit, and the Cowboys have 2 on with nobody out. And Jake Thompson, who hit a mammoth home run in the 4th, cleanup batter for Oklahoma State coming up.
Yeah, and that's the last thing you want to see if you're Andrew Checketts. And, you know, might there be the possibility that McGreevy throws a little bit today? We don't know. But we do know Andrew Checketts has told us the importance of winning game one in a regional. Keeps you in the winner's bracket, and it is so tough. I would imagine a trip to the mound here by Andrew Checketts is real close.
So for Boone, he worked his way out of a jam in the first, and Oklahoma State with 2 runners on for the first time since the first inning. But he cruised innings 2 through 5, 13 pitches in the second, 11 in the third, 14 in the fourth, and 12 in the fifth. But now a start for Oklahoma State with a single and a hit batter in the sixth, and just the second batter that Rodney Boone has hit this season.
Come on, Rod. Come on, Rod.
2-1.
But a situation like this, if you're Boone, you have a 6-run lead, you got first and second and no outs. Again, ideally, obviously, you don't want any runs to score, but you got to limit the damage in this type of inning. You can ill afford to have free passes and just make hitters put the ball in play and trust your defense. But his command I mean, you watch him throw right now, it's not anything similar to how he was in the previous 5 innings. It almost looks like he's aiming. You take a look at Andrew Checketts trying to figure out what he's going to do. But I imagine a trip to the mound if he loses. And he did.
They are loaded for the Cowboys. Single, hit batter, and a walk. And Carson McCusker coming up. And a real opportunity for Oklahoma State to get back into this game as Andrew Checketts heading toward the mound. Rodney Boone, who has struck out 8 so far in this one. And it is our Capital One rewarding performance. And a lefty for the Gauchos was cruising until the 6th.
Well, he's been sensational the entire day. Throwing ball in on lefties, in on righties, and then throwing that tremendous changeup. And because of the effectiveness of this changeup, his fastball plays 3-4 mile an hour faster. This inning, he has looked like an entirely different pitcher. And I'm sure Andrew Checketts went out there and told him, we're just trying to get outs. And again, you got a 6-run lead. The runner at third, you're just going to concede. But now you're just trying to get the Cowboys to put the ball in play somewhere. Because all you're doing if you're Andrew Checketts is counting outs. And that's 12 more you need.
Carson McCusker has struck out twice today. Strike one.
Good slider right there.
No activity yet in the bullpen. That right there is Clayton Hall just moving around, a reliever. 0-2 is McCusker chasing a pitch down and in.
Well, there's no reason to throw any other type of pitch right now than the same 2 you just threw, unless you're going to go up and out, way out of the zone.
And McCusker pops it up. Shallow left center. Going out is O'Connor, giving way, and the center fielder Jason Willow comes in to make the catch. And the runners have to hold on the shallow flyout as Max Hewitt stays at third base. And that's what Rodney Boone needed, a flyout. The runners don't advance.
Well, he did, but Boone got away with a absolute, in my opinion, just a bad 0-2 pitch. It was a hanging breaking ball from McCusker right down Broadway.
Cade Cabanis has struck out twice. He's 0 for 2 today. Bases loaded, 1 out. Rodney Boone, the pitch. Pulled on the ground at first, fielded by Kyle Johnson. Has one play, they get the out at first. Max Hewitt comes in for the Cowboys. Encarnacion Strand goes to third. Jake Thompson moves up to second base. but Santa Barbara, West, concedes the run to get the out.
Yeah, that right there is just a thinking man's defensive play by Johnson. Be aware of the score and make sure you get the out when you're nursing a 6-run lead. But this is a great job. Watch, he's going to take a no, I'm going to go get the out. And as a defensive player, that's what you hope your players are doing as a skipper, is thinking, what am I going to do if I get the ball hit to me? Hit to me hard, hit to me to my left, hit to me to my right, hit to me slow in front of me. And then obviously the score comes into play and what you're going to do.
Nolan McLean, infield hit in the second. He's 1 for 2, the DH and 7 hitter for Oklahoma State.
Biggest hitter of the game. Base hit brings the lead to 8-5.
On the ground at short. High bounce for Jordan Sprinkle and a stretch at first by Johnson. Side retired. The Cowboys get a run, but that's it. Boone is able to limit the damage. 8-3 UC Santa Barbara to the 7th. UC Santa Barbara leading Oklahoma State as we head to the 7th. Game 1 of the Tucson Regional. The 3-seed Gauchos right now getting the better of the 2-seed Cowboys. The NCAA Regionals coverage for all 16 sites continues tomorrow on ESPN 3 and the ESPN app. For more information, visit NCAA.com, the home for all 90 NCAA championships. Cowboys turn to the bullpen here in the 7th with Wes Clements and our ESPN crew. Roxy Bernstein with you. 6 innings from Justin Campbell and now righty Bryce Osmond. Second-year freshman from Jenks, Oklahoma. And a fastball outside to Kyle Johnson, 8-9-1 for the Gauchos in the 7th.
Take a look at his numbers. 64 punch-outs in 54 innings.
Only his 3rd relief appearance. He's made 10 starts this year. He does have a save. But walks have been an issue for Osmond, 33 in 54 innings. Good pitch as Osmond drafted out of high school by the Nationals in the 35th round. Is Kyle Johnson 0 for 2 with a walk today. Here comes the 1-2 to Kyle Johnson, and he lays off. 6 innings from Justin Campbell today. And Campbell giving up 8 runs, 6 earned, 10 hits, walked 3. Also hit a couple of batters, just 2 strikeouts for Justin Campbell today. And Johnson sprays one the other way. 3rd, Christian Encarnacion Strand cranks it across to 1st. That takes care of Kyle Johnson.
And it's
One
fair
out.
to say that
Gianni Bloom coming up.
Campbell just was not Campbell today. I mean, he came in with a 2.06 ERA and immaculate command, and from the start, from the get-go, from inning 1, he just didn't have his command inside the strike zone.
Gianni Bloom, an RBI. 0 for 2 with a sacrifice on that safety squeeze. That was reviewed and call overturned to bring in a run for the Gauchos back in the 4th. 1-strike pitch. Bloom late on a fastball. Good velocity from Osmond.
Players can have different values on all the rosters across the country, and we talked about it, how important Bloom is to Gauchos as their strike 3, and how important Bloom is to Boone when Boone's out there on the mound. And it's always been Bloom, and he contributed today. Obviously Bloom did with the bat, with the safety squeeze, but he has been tremendous behind the dish handling Boone.
Top of the order, Jordan Sprinkle. Singled and scored in the 6th. He's 1 for 4 with an RBI. Bryce Osmond, the 1-0. Good breaking ball to the outer half of the plate. Osmond, in talking to Josh Holliday this week, noted that strike throwing has really improved as the season has gone on for Osmond. A lot of the command issues with him early in the year. 2-1 the count, but really is an elite physical talent and thinks he's got a really bright future. And you can see the effortless delivery he has. The ball just jumps out of his hand, but missed there. It's 3-1.
Yeah, well, Josh Holliday did tell us, because if you look at their statistics, you would think that base on balls had been an issue, but Josh told us that was early in the season, and they had the 4th best ERA in the Big 12.
Strike called, full count on Jordan Sprinkle here with 2 down.
What a good man Josh Holliday is, huh? I mean, you can tell he's humble. He took
so
over
proud to be back
his
at his
father.
alma mater.
Right. Played, took over for his father, and just a humble man.
Back over the mound and through into center. Second hit for Jordan Sprinkle. Hit number 11 for UC Santa Barbara. And a 2-out base runner for Cole Cummings, who's been aboard all 4 times today. So Josh Holliday in his 9th season at his alma mater, and there he is as a player. 2-time first team all Big 12. Back in the late 90s, and there's alongside Dad, who is the skipper. And it still is a family affair at Oklahoma State with Josh as the head coach. Matt Holliday, the volunteer assistant as Sprinkle goes. Double clutch from Mathis, and a steal for Sprinkle, his 26th of the year. And there is more pressure put on by UC Santa Barbara.
And they're always going to have their foot on the gas, or the Gauchos. This is a great jump by Sprinkle, and there's just no chance.
And you saw Dad in those pictures with Josh Holliday there, Tom Holliday. His involvement coaching the Oklahoma State program as well.
This puts a lot of pressure on the defense when you have this speed and you're already chasing 5 runs. You got Sprinkle on second base. You have to shorten up your outfield to have an opportunity to throw them out.
Pulled on the ground at first base. Jake Thompson takes it himself. Runner stranded. Time to stand and stretch in Tucson. 8-3 Gauchos to the bottom of the 7th. Here's a look at our bracket of the Tucson Regional at High Corbett Field. As the number 5 national seed, Arizona in action tonight. 7 o'clock Pacific against the WAC champs Grand Canyon. As UCSB leading Oklahoma State in game 1. As we're heading to the bottom of the 7th. And our bracket is matched up with the Oxford, Mississippi Regional, hosted by Ole Miss, where earlier Florida State in game 1 there. 5-2 over Southern Miss. Rebels in action coming up this evening as Brock Mathis 0 for 2 leads off the bottom of the 7th. 8-9-1 for the Cowboys against Rodney Boone.
Well, it's interesting. We talked about Josh Holliday taking over for his father. How about Mike Martin Jr. taking over for his father? Gets the win.
Two-strike pitch way upstairs from Boone. Mathis struck out in the 2nd and fly out in the 5th.
You just wonder if this is adrenaline with Boone right now. I mean, you get to the point now as a pitcher, you got an 8-3 lead. Good change up there. You're trying to get to the finish line, and you start to feel it, and then this is where catchers need to call timeout a little bit and go out and talk to your pitchers. Say, hey, just an out at a time, a pitch at a time.
Swinging a tip into the mid of Gianni Bloom. Strikeout number 9 for Rodney Boone.
And, you know, we talked about Barry Zito, right? An alumnus of UC Santa Barbara and the Gauchos. Barry Zito made a living on throwing this exact pitch, and it's intentional, folks. This is a fastball up, and that's exactly where it's supposed to be. And Barry Zito did the exact same thing. He was so successful with that fastball up in the zone.
Set up by that amazing curveball that Zito had. Matt Golda 0 for 2. One out here in the 7th. And a pinch hitter, though, for the Cowboys. Activity is Carter Benbrook getting loose for UC Santa Barbara. This is Alex Garcia pinch hitting for Golda. So Garcia, .230 hitter with 3 home runs. He takes ball one as Garcia, fifth-year senior from Othello, Washington, a transfer from Central Arizona Community College. Fouled away.
Well, if you're Andrew Chekic, you know you're going to have to go through the heart of this Cowboy lineup at minimum one more time. As behind Garcia flips it over to the top of the lineup.
And if you're Andrew Chekic and you can win this game without using Michael McGreevy, that sets up really well for the Gauchos moving into the winner's bracket and awaiting the winner of Arizona Grand Canyon for tomorrow night's matchup in the winner's bracket.
Well, if you asked Andrew Chekic, here's what's going to happen. You got an 8-3 lead in the 7th inning and Boone is still on the mound. He would say, you know, if you could buy him, he'd probably give you $1 million if he had it, right? But he's got the left-hander up in the bullpen because 4 of the next 6 hitters for the Cowboys are left-handed.
Bouncer up the third base line, foul off the bat of Alex Garcia.
You hear that grunt from Boone on that pitch right there?
Yeah. Reaching back for a little extra, there's Benbrook, who has been their #1 guy out of the bullpen all season. Boone's pitch. Garcia drives one out toward right center. Into the alleyway. Gets all the way to the fence. Jason Willow rifles it in. And a double for Garcia. 9th double for Garcia. And a runner at second base with one down in the last of the 7th for Oklahoma State. We're headed to the top of the order in Caden Trenkle.
Well, it's a great job by Garcia. Coming off the bench, there's a fastball on the outside part. He finds the right center gap, and Boone's not happy about it right off the bat. Garcia will get run for.
Looks like we'll have a pinch runner for Garcia at second base after the double. So Garcia does his job, gets aboard. And now we'll give way for a pinch runner. And it is Orlando Salinas Jr., the freshman from Corpus Christi, Texas. Pinch running for Garcia. One out base runner for the Cowboys. 8-3 Gauchos, last of the 7th. Caden Trenkle is 0 for 3 today. There's a ground ball. Backhanded at short. Off balance throw. And a stretch by Johnson at first. Nicely done. Jordan Sprinkle made a very difficult play look rather routine.
Remember we talked about that computer, if you're a defensive player, always knowing the situation, who's running at the dish. He knows he's got to get rid of it quick. And he does. He makes a perfect throw over to Johnson. What a bright future that youngster has, huh?
Freshman All-American for the Gauchos. Salinas at second, 2 gone. Max Hewitt 1 for 2 today. He's also walked and scored a couple of runs. Pinch runner, Orlando Salinas Jr. at second base. Rodney Boone, the pitch. And that one gets away from Gianni Bloom, and taking third is Salinas. That is a wild pitch. Runner at third with 2 down for Hewitt. (8-3) Gauchos, who broke open a 1-1 game in the middle innings. It was 1-1 to the fourth, 2 for UCSB in the fourth, 2 in the fifth, 3 in the sixth, and have that 8-3 lead. 11 hits for UC Santa Barbara, just 5 for Oklahoma State. One of the best offenses in the country, as this one skied for Max Hewitt out of play.
And that's why Andrew Checketts is over there thinking that this game's not over. They have 6 more outs, actually 7. And you see him right there. He's just going through their lineup on what am I going to do if this happens.
The co-Big West pitcher of the year, Rodney Boone. Here it comes. Got him, struck him out. 10 strikeouts for Rodney Boone. UC Santa Barbara and Boone strand the runner at third. Through 7, and Rodney Boone is pitching a gem against Oklahoma State. NCAA Baseball Regionals presented by Capital One. Tucson, Arizona. Look at the cactus. We're in the desert. Well, we're not there.
You know how
but
important cactuses
the game is being
are?
played in the desert.
You know how important
cactus.
cactuses are? Hey, I did hear something. I watched something on TV the other day. I'm serious. They said how valuable it is to have cactus in your yards. Something about water. It keeps water. And that's where I'll leave it right there. I mean, you'd have to ask your other buddy, Bill Walton, to finish it, but I can start it.
Heart of the order for the Gauchos here in the 8th. 8-3 UC Santa Barbara. Zach Rodriguez a sac fly in the 6th. As Bryce Osmond continues on the mound, did he go and appeal no swing, says Eric Lovelace.
Shout
Rodriguez,
out to the umpires,
Marcus
right?
Castagnon, and Brock Mortensen for the Gauchos in the 8th.
We talked about it's a little warm at times in Tucson, and those umpires are out there all the time.
Got him. Good off-speed
changeup.
second strikeout for Osmond.
Get a look at this from Osmond. It's just a changeup, and it's a great changeup to go with a tremendous fastball.
It's up to 102, by the way, at High Corbett Field now.
That's beautiful. That's barbecue weather.
Strike on the inside edge to Castagnon.
Watermelon weather. Coffee weather. Suntan
He's
weather.
chilling.
Check him out. He's like, hey.
He's got an Oakland A's hat. I like that dude. That's my guy.
He's waiting for his Uber Eats to arrive or something.
So he's got that A's
See?
camo
He
hat
doesn't have-
going.
No, he understands there's some sun there. It's a good slider on the outside part, but he's trying to get the tan.
A lot of A's fans in the ballpark.
I don't understand why they'd be A's fans. I'm just wondering.
Because they're the greatest team in the history of the universe.
Okay, I take it back. Bobby Melvin, dear friend.
2 balls, 2 strikes, the count on Castagnon, who has had a great day at the plate. 3 for 4, is driven in 2. He's scored 2 runs. He's been in the middle of everything offensively for UC Santa Barbara today.
And he's made a tremendous, tremendous difference in this Gaucho lineup.
There's a drive deep to left. Castagnon, gone. Have yourself a day, Marcus Castagnon, in the first round of the NCAA tournament. 4 hits, a home run. He's driven in 3. He's scored 3, and it's 9-3 UC Santa Barbara.
Now, we talked about what a great addition it was to get this youngster back, and boy, he has been sensational today, and this is a slider that he just annihilates.
First pitch, Brock Mortensen in the air to left toward the corner, pushing foul.
Here's your home run. It's a breaking pitch. It's middle. Osmond knows it, and so does Castagnon. Watch this from the side. He knows it. Drop the bat, take off.
Brock Mortensen hit by a pitch in the fifth. 0 for 3 as there is Castagnon and back in the dugout. And that's the thing about this UC Santa Barbara team is they were one of the last 4 teams in the field. But if they had a healthy Marcus Castagnon and McLean O'Connor, they wouldn't be among those last 4 teams in.
Well, again, it's a tough job for the committee. We say it every year. We're on the West Coast. They play late games. A lot of times this team is not on the West Coast. They're not seen by committee members. And they will go to the metrics and default to the metrics of the RPI, which, in my opinion, is the worst formula and metric there is out there. But unfortunately, that's what they use. But you know, when you just take a look at this lineup with Castagnon, tons of power, but what? They run the bases as well as anybody in the entire country.
Another foul from Brock Mortensen.
And when you talk about Ben Orloff's club with UC Irvine, how good were they? And so it's just, listen, the Big West Conference has always been a great conference. We're talking about national champions come out of the Big West Conference. We're talking about 3 clubs being in the College World Series recently.
Diving stop, and then an errant throw for Max Hewitt. Made a terrific play just to get it. And now they're saying, yes, he did turn into fair ground and made a move towards second base. So Brock Mortensen called out after the throw got away over the head of Jake Thompson. And then the first base umpire, Eric Lovelace, said out because Mortensen made a move to second.
And that's all it takes, folks. If you're wondering about the rule, we're going to get a look at it here. Now here's Mortensen. He sees that Hewitt throws a bad throw, so that move right there, that little move left, and super awareness by Mathis, the catcher, to notice it. But just that little move to the left over the foul line, we'll get a good look at it right here. He's like, all right, it's an overthrow. Let me turn left, and that left right there, Mathis, great job to recognize that and throw the ball over to Thompson.
On the ground to the left side, gobbled up by Encarnacion Strand at third. And he throws out Jason Willow at first to retire the side. But another run for UC Santa Barbara. Marcus Castagnon launching one deep over the wall and left.
They missed him, and this is why. He's one of the best on the West Coast in the country.
On to the bottom of the 8th and the heart of the order for Oklahoma State in Tucson. The 2-seed Cowboys right now on the short end of this one against the 3-seed Gauchos and at large out of the Big West against the Big 12 runners-up in terms of the Big 12 tournament last week. And Christian Encarnacion Strand, 1 for 2, has also been hit by a pitch leading it off here in the 8th. As Oklahoma State went 12-12 during Big 12 play this year. But then in the Big 12 tournament in Oklahoma City last weekend, they beat Oklahoma, West Virginia, and then Texas before losing to TCU 10-7 in the Big 12 tournament championship. And on 3 pitches, strikeout number 11 for Rodney Boone. And Encarnacion Strand down on strikes.
You see the pitch. It's a fastball up on purpose and out of the zone, and Boone is exactly as advertised. Not a hard thrower, but he can locate with the best of them. Take a look at his numbers. Just 5 hits, 2 walks, and, of course, the punch-outs. At 112,
Jake Thompson, a long home run in the 4th.
You just wonder how much longer Andrew Check is going to leave him out there. Now, with this being said, at 112, regardless of what happens the next 3 days, Boone is not going to throw again. And Andrew Checketts knows that, but he also knows how far he can extend him.
There is activity in the bullpen.
Double barrel.
As Carter Benbrook has been up, and now he's got company. As the Gauchos have the right-hander, Connor Roberts, up as well.
But you can bet that Boone is going to be campaigning if he can get back into the dugout to finish this.
Fouled away by Jake Thompson. Down the first base line, fair into the right field corner, and Thompson another hit. On his way to second, and Jake Thompson his 8th double of the season. And a 1-out double is hit number 6 for Oklahoma State. And a runner in scoring position here for Carson McCusker.
Well, he's one of the few Cowboys today who has had his way with Boone. The blast, the long blast to right center. You see Andrew Checketts talking to the bullpen, trying to find out who's ready. He's got a scorecard there. But Thompson has swung the bat very well today.
0 for 3 is McCusker. Boone, who's had double-digit strikeouts in each of his last 3 starts, including the 11 he has today. Off the end of the bat into left, and that's a base hit. Hooked it out over toward the line. Coming in is Thompson. McCusker, an RBI single. 9-4 Gauchos.
He's at 118. I mean, he's at 118, and the temperature's what? About 102? And
low triple
talked
digits,
about
yeah.
the weather in Santa Barbara.
You can't beat it.
And they're making that. Bloom out to talk to Boone, and I'm guessing this is just buying a little bit more time. And
so Boone, who went 119 pitches in his start last Saturday against Bakersfield at Cesar Wasaka Stadium there in Santa Barbara, when he struck out 12. He struck out 13 a couple of weeks ago at UC Riverside. And the Cobe Big West Pitcher of the Year appears to have reached the end of the line here with 1 out in the 8th. Andrew Checketts heading to the mound.
The ovation this youngster will get when he comes off the mound is well deserved.
11 strikeouts for Rodney Boone. Hands it off to the bullpen. Gauchos 9, Cowboys 4. Oklahoma State at the plate in the 8th. Well, a strong outing for Rodney Boone, the second most pitches he's thrown in a start this season. 118, he threw 119 last Saturday against Bakersfield. 11 strikeouts, he left a runner at first for Carter Benbrook. And as Boone, the Cobe Big West Pitcher of the Year, did his job against one of the best offenses in the country, and Carter Benbrook takes over, the big freshman from Sacramento. Went to Jesuit High School in the state capital of California. As Benbrook has been the #1 guy out of the bullpen all season for Andrew Checketts. 7-1, 5 saves, and that 2.82 ERA is 61 strikeouts in 51 innings.
Boy, he's been tremendous, and my guess, as Andrew Checketts said,
comebacker to second. The turn by Sprinkle to first, and with one pitch, Benbrook gets out of it, and the tailor-made double play ball. Carter
Exactly
Benbrook
what the
pumps.
doctor ordered.
Well, this is action at PK Park in Eugene, where the Pac-12 runner-ups, the Oregon Ducks, taking on Central Connecticut State. And in a battle as the host of that regional, the Oregon Ducks. Around the clock, multi-game coverage, scores, and highlights. Check out Squeeze Play, available on the ESPN app throughout the college baseball regionals. Live bonus coverage. Mark Wasikowski and the Ducks getting all they can handle from Central Connecticut State.
It is
going to go
not
all the way
easy.
to Eugene.
It ain't easy to keep advancing in the postseason of college baseball.
McLean O'Connor's driven in 2 today and fouls off the pitch from Bryce Osmond, who took over for Justin Campbell after 6 innings. 2 hits for O'Connor today. Back up over the mound. Backhanded, but no play for Max Hewitt. And an infield hit. Hit number 3 for O'Connor, number 14 for UC Santa Barbara, as O'Connor is on to start the 9th.
Well, when it rains, it pours if you're the Cowboys today, and it's just a CNI single.
Kyle Johnson 0 for 3 with a walk. As you look at Rob Walton, the pitching coach at Oklahoma State, who saw his ace Justin Campbell struggle today, and an un-Campbell-like performance, who's been so good all season for the Cowboys. Fouled away by Kyle Johnson.
How about Billy Moll's club, South Florida, taking down Florida today?
Liberty beat Duke, so some of the lower seeded teams, or higher, depending on how you look at it. And Florida losing at home in Gainesville. There is Justin Campbell, first team all Big 12 performer.
Keep your head up, youngster. You had a tremendous year, and it's not over.
1-2 pitch. That one rolled foul off the bat of Johnson. The loser of this ball game comes back tomorrow in an elimination game. They will play the loser of our matchup tonight between Arizona and Grand Canyon. And the winner will play tomorrow night against the winner in the winner's bracket. This double elimination format as Johnson hits it in the air to left, right toward Carson McCusker.
You know, Roxy, we talked about anybody can beat anybody. It's not a cliche. It's true. I mean, when you talk about Arkansas, the #1 team basically entire year, they're hosting New Jersey Tech. Before the game started, would you have ever thought that New Jersey Tech would have scored 8 runs against that pitching staff? And that's what they've done. Now Arkansas has scored 13, but there are no freebies in the postseason.
Pinch hitter for the Gauchos here with 1 out in the 9th, and O'Connor at first base. This is Christian Kirtley, a sophomore from Highland, California, batting for Gianni Bloom in the 9 spot. Pinch hitting for the catcher. That's Kirtley. 5 home runs, hitting .272 on the year, and he hit a huge home run about a month ago in a comeback win they had against Long Beach State on the road.
He sure did. And he let everybody know, didn't he? And there's nothing wrong with that. I mean, it was a big, gigantic home run, and He went down first baseline sideways.
You mentioned UC Irvine earlier, who won the Big West, and UC Santa Barbara finished second to the Anteaters. In the Big West, the Gauchos, as an at-large, made the field, and some controversy, and at least from the West Coast people, that ball's ripped by Kirtley to left. McLean O'Connor stays at second. 15 Gaucho hits today, and there's 2 on with 1 out. And Jordan Sprinkle back to the top of the Gauchos order. But Long Beach State had a tremendous season. Eric Valenzuela and the Beach were a team that both you and I felt deserved to be in the field.
14, Eric Valenzuela's club won 14 out of their last 16. And they got left out, but I think what was even more frustrating is you're going to get a pinch runner. But I think what was even more frustrating for West Coast baseballers was that the Dirtbags weren't even in the last 5 out, Roxy. So they didn't get any consideration. And again, this Big West Conference has made noise for years and years and years. And there are many times, as you see the pinch runner,
Nick Vogt running at first for Kirtley.
Does not get its due.
2 hits today. Jordan Sprinkle 2 for 5 with an RBI and a run. And look, there were some strong restrictions placed on Long Beach State, which factored in for them this year. They originally were not going to play any non-conference games, and because of a COVID issue with one of their opponents, they scrapped and found a non-conference series there in April against Pacific, as Sprinkle pokes one in the air to right field, and that drops in for a hit. A 3-hit game for Jordan Sprinkle, and then the throw to the plate gets knocked down by the catcher Mathis, and the bases are full. 3 hits for the Gauchos in the 9th. They're loaded for Cole Cummings.
Well, you take a look at Sprinkle, All-American freshman, and again, what a story, right? He wasn't going to be a starter. Andrew Check has told us. Now, we didn't know what we had, but O'Connor, who's standing over at third base, was the shortstop, but got injured. And Sprinkle just does everything you want a leadoff hitter to do. Makes contact, doesn't try to pull the ball, puts the ball in play.
Bases loaded, 1 out. The Gauchos looking for more as Osmond will go from the windup. 3-hit day for Cummings, who looks at a strike. One off of a season high. Actually, the 16 hits for UC Santa Barbara is the high for the Gauchos, so they've matched it. Blocked by the catcher Mathis, and the runners advance. Wild pitch, 10-4 UCSB.
Well, this is instincts. You're O'Connor. His third base coach, Spencer Erdman, is going to whisper in his ear, read the ball in the dirt on your own, and you're on your own. And this is just instincts. You'll watch O'Connor. He's going to show up from your left, and it's just a great job. There's nothing Mathis can do. He does all he can to keep that ball in front of him.
1-1 on Cummings with now runners at second and third. The pitch. And Cummings, it hit him, and they're going to give him first base, and that's one of those West where if I was Perry Costell, the plate umpire, I might not give him first base.
Let me put it this way. I'll tell you as a hitter, as you take a look at Perry Costello behind the dish, home plate umpire, but if I'm a hitter and I got second and third and 1 out, I'm not going nowhere. And I'm not sure that hit anybody, but as a hitter, you're not going anywhere. You got second and third and 1 out.
Rodriguez lines it to right. Another hit for the Gauchos. 2 more runs scored. Down to second goes Rodriguez. And it's 12-4 UC Santa Barbara.
Well, Rodriguez, as a freshman, led the Gauchos in RBIs, and this is why. Just takes a fastball down the middle, fezzes it to right field. 2 more runs on the board for the Gauchos, and 12-4, second and third. Just a fastball down the middle.
Marcus Castagnon, and that gets through the drawn and infield. 2 more for UC Santa Barbara. They've blown it open here in the ninth. $14-4 UC Santa Barbara. And that ball hit sharply on the ground.
And look right here. That's obstruction right there. You see the third base umpire right there? That's Jeff Head right there. He called obstruction in between the bag on the shortstop. You'll see it right here. But in my opinion, I'm not. That's not obstruction to me. There's by nothing. When you make a dive for a play, there's nothing you can do at that point in time.
Five-run ninth inning for UC Santa Barbara.
I mean, it's
the struggles for Bryce Osmond
Jr. could have done on that play. You dive for the play. It happens to take him in the base path.
Even though it was called, but still, the run was going to score anyways. As you saw, Zach Rodriguez maneuver around Salinas. He did alter his path, but really didn't have an effect on the play.
Well, here's the thing with Spencer Erdman, the third base coach with UC Santa Barbara. The minute you see the umpire call that, you just send your runner no matter what, because you know he's going to be safe no matter what, because it's obstruction. So there's nothing bad that can happen. It's like playing with
the
house
Gauchos,
money.
you want to talk about an offense coming alive here at the end of the year. Brock Mortensen hits this one into the air toward the left field corner into foul ground. A lot of room down there as Carson McCusker makes the catch, and staying at first base is Castagnon. There's 2 away. But UC Santa Barbara now, their offense, they've scored double-digit runs in 6 of their last 8 games, including today.
Well, it's hard to believe that just one player, right, would make a difference coming back in your lineup. But at Castagnon, if today wasn't an example why he makes a big difference.
Jason Willow is the 9th batter of this top of the 9th for UC Santa Barbara.
If you're a Cowboy fan, listen, it's a double elimination. And there have been plenty of teams that have come through the losers bracket in a regional and end up on top.
Look, and they have the firepower,
absolutely,
and the pitching to be able to do it.
They have everything needed to come through a losers bracket of a regional. They got a great leader in Josh Holliday.
Jason Willow fouls it away. And look, this is the first team that UC Santa Barbara has faced. It's been a team from outside the West Coast this season. And you look at their non-conference games outside of the Big West. Santa Clara, Pepperdine, Oregon, the real USF, not South Florida.
And then they lost a series recently to UCLA.
Got him, struck him out, but 5 runs for the Gauchos in the 9th. UC Santa Barbara, a 10-run lead. New pitcher for UC Santa Barbara as we go to the last of the 9th inning, and the Gauchos up 14-4 on Oklahoma State. Connor Roberts takes over on the mound. 19th appearance, a 5.28 ERA. 35 strikeouts in 29 innings. The opposition hitting only a $180. The issue with Roberts has been his command. He's walked 19. He has hit 8 batters. He has thrown 10 wild pitches. So there's the good and the bad with Connor Roberts.
And the potential. How's that?
Yeah, that's true. Nolan McLean leading off the bottom of the 9th. Drives this one out toward deep right. And it is off the facing of the Terry Francona batting cage out there. Waiting for a signal as McLean is at third. They're going to say it's in play, that it hit the wall and didn't go over. And that is a leadoff triple for Oklahoma State against Roberts to start the bottom of the 9th.
Well, I mean, Rodriguez will tell you he should have caught this ball upon further review. I mean, it's a ball hit to right. It's a high ball up in the air. The wind's blowing a little bit. He just lost it. And this is something that if the score holds the way it is, you'll be able to joke with him. I mean, you have to be able to joke.
New catcher also for UC Santa Barbara taking over here in the 9th. It's Mason Eng. So Mason Eng, there he is behind the plate after Gianni Bloom was hit for. And Brock Mathis, the batter, he's 0 for 3. And a pinch hitter, though, for the Cowboys, as Marcus Brown hitting .378 and 37 at-bats. Will pinch hit. And a strike to Brown, freshman from Springdale, Arkansas. Outside from Roberts.
You might ask the question, why are they pitch hitting? They're down 10 runs. Well, Josh Holliday is never going to stop being a skipper, and he's getting the feet wet of a freshman in a regional.
Plus a guy that's hitting up over .370 this year. Pop up toward the left field line, angling out. Jordan Sprinkle puts it away. One gone. That'll bring up the shortstop, Orlando Salinas Jr.
That was a little interesting, the way Sprinkle caught that ball, and then it looked like he was checking his leg. Now he's all right. See, he's going to learn. He's a freshman. He's going to learn. Don't act like you're hurt.
Big hack from Salinas. He was just 2 for 9 on the year, but one of those being a home run. Outside from Connor Roberts. 7 1/3 for Rodney Boone, struck out 11. Carter Benbrook pitched his way out of a jam, made one pitch coming in and got a double play ball to end a threat for Oklahoma State. Then the Gauchos erupted for 5 more runs in the 9th. In the top half of this inning to balloon the lead to 14-4 as UC Santa Barbara 1 in the 1st, 2 in the 4th, 2 in the 5th, 3 in the 6th. That one shoots through the catcher Mason Eng, and coming in to try to score on the wild pitch, and out at the plate is McLean. Quickly, Mason Eng is able to track it down and flip it to the pitcher Roberts, covering for the out.
Well, it's just a great job on the defensive end here, but McLean, I mean, he knows. Watch his reaction after he's out. He knows right now that was a mistake. Trying to score on a pass ball, you got to be able to walk in when you're chasing 10 runs.
And the hard carom that it took off the backstop made it easy for Eng to play it. Swing and a miss. Salinas down on strikes, and UC Santa Barbara will win game 1 of the Tucson Regional. A season high 18 hits for UC Santa Barbara, as the Gauchos also put up 14 runs and will go into the winner's bracket, and Oklahoma State will have to turn around tomorrow to take on the loser of the Grand Canyon-Arizona matchup tonight. But this was UC Santa Barbara baseball at their best today.
Well, it's just a tremendous job by the Gauchos on the mound from Rodney Boone. Their offense and their base running was tremendous, and there's a great changeup from Roberts, and the tag for strike 3, and the win in the books for the Gauchos.
So game 1 of the Tucson Regional goes to UC Santa Barbara. So take a look at our game recap from this one. And the Gauchos put the pressure on Oklahoma State early against the first team all Big 12 pitcher in Justin Campbell, as the co-Big West pitcher of the year, Rodney Boone, got it going early for UC Santa Barbara on the mound.
Well, he was absolutely tremendous. He located well, in, out, up. He kept the Cowboy hitters off balance. Over 100 pitches, lasted into the 8th inning. And how about the offense? A little squeeze play got the Gauchos offense going. And then we talked about Cashignan back in the Gauchos lineup, and this is what he does today.
Win number 40 on the year for Andrew Checketts in UC Santa Barbara, as the Gauchos get the big win here, erupting against Oklahoma State. Will await the winner of our matchup coming up later tonight. But the Gauchos, a convincing victory here in the first game of the regionals. The 3 seed upends the 2. So UC Santa Barbara, you see them move into that winner's bracket game. Well, they'll await either the number 5 national seed Wildcats of Arizona or the WAC champs in their first NCAA tournament appearance. For the Roadrunners from Grand Canyon, Oklahoma State will have to turn around tomorrow and play at 4 Eastern, 1 o'clock Pacific against the loser of that matchup tonight. UC Santa Barbara knocks off Oklahoma State in game 1 as the Gauchos put up 14 runs, a season-high 18 hits, and win number 11 for the co-Big West pitcher of the year, Rodney Boone, who struck out 11. As the Gauchos scored often in this one and shut down Oklahoma State. Still to come later tonight, join us at 7 o'clock Pacific for Arizona and Grand Canyon. For Wes Clements and our ESPN crew, Roxy Bernstein, thank you for joining us. 14-4 UC Santa Barbara defeats Oklahoma State.